Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another live stream. Welcome back, or welcome to the Gameweek 9 live stream, where we, of course, have had quite a big piece of news a couple of hours before the stream starts, which is that GABRIEL is likely, possibly, out for Gameweek 9, if you trust Arteta, which we have learnt not to do too often. But yes, let me know how you're doing. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Sit back, relax, and let's do this. Hi, Ross. Hello, Finn Diesel. Good to see you. Got a lot of people here already, and I appreciate everyone. Lots of people asking how other people are as well. Mum got me Haribo's. W Mum. That sounds like a W Mum in all fairness. Becta9987 has become a Rap Tier 1 member. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Geoguessr after the deadline, please. So I might have actually screwed up this deadline stream. I recorded back-to-back Geoguessr videos, which went on for over 2 hours. I've almost lost my voice, and I think my camera's going to die pretty soon as a result. I didn't really think it through. I just recorded a couple of videos. So I've been playing Geoguessr a lot today on camera, so I probably won't be doing much Geoguessr after the stream. But if people did follow my Geoguessr channel, firstly, thank you. There'll be a video tomorrow morning. Yeah, tomorrow morning there'll be a new Geoguessr video. Hi, Ross. Is Caicedo playing? I think so. Should do, shouldn't he? Did I miss something? Watching from Oregon, USA. I had a guess today which was in Oregon and I did not correctly guess it. What channel is it on? GeoRaptor. My new channel is I'll link it in the chat. I'm not going to talk about it throughout today's stream, don't worry. If you've not followed my new YouTube channel though, please do. I'd really appreciate it. It's basically for like geography and GeoGuessr content. This is my new channel. Please do subscribe. I'm uploading another video tomorrow, and I already uploaded one a few days ago as well, so feel free to check it out. Just subscribe even if you don't want to check it out. It supports me. Mr. Timbo Slice says, hi, Egg. Thoughts on this wildcard? My team value is 98.8. Fair play. Not a lot to spend then. Raya Timber, Senesi, Achempong. Short term, but could be good in the meantime. Saka, Semenyo, Enzo, Njai, Caicedo, Haaland, Krupi, Dubravka, Mateta, Keane, and Munoz. Lovely team. I mean, with the GABRIEL news, are you tempted to start Mateta? I really like it, though. In all fairness, this is the compliment that I will give you, Timbo Slice. When I look at that, does it necessarily feel like you've got really poor team value? No. I quite like it as a team. I mean, who are you missing there, really? Saar? I guess no GABRIEL, but you've got Timber instead. It's nice. I'm not going to criticise that at all. I probably would still go for GABRIEL rather than Raya, so I would switch that around, but obviously it's a bit more difficult because GABRIEL is expensive, and also he looks like he might miss out in Gameweek 9. Isak to Walter-Marden, -4. Eze to Saka next week. It depends who you would play if Isak is out, or are you just going to risk Isak? In all fairness, I love the idea of getting Walter-Marden to allow you to get Saka, so maybe you do take a hit for that. What am I going to do with GABRIEL? I'm probably just going to leave it. I'll be honest. I was toing and froing as to whether to sell Anderson to bench boost, so this helps me because it's not a bench boost team now. I've got 2 players that are flagged. I don't really want to sell either of them, and so I could still make transfers, but I also was really I felt a bit uneasy about benching Rodon tonight. And listen, GABRIEL might play. There's a good chance that he does. But if he doesn't, and Rodon does well tonight, then I at least have a good backup. So yeah, basically, I kind of wanted to start Rodon anyway, so I don't mind it. I won't start Rodon, though. I'll still start GABRIEL, because obviously we know Arteta can lie. And also, let's say he's not lying. He didn't rule GABRIEL out. He said GABRIEL's got an issue, and we'll see how that progresses over the next 24 hours. So I think we just have to, if you want to or not, we'll have to take Arteta at face value and say that GABRIEL has a chance of playing. I really wouldn't bother selling GABRIEL, though. I can't see a world where I would sell him. Happy Gameweek 9 at Raptor Nation. I love it. Sounds like something from like the 2000s. I'm on wildcard with GABRIEL and Timber. Yes. Should I transfer Calafiori in for GABRIEL? No. I'd keep GABRIEL. Unless in the next hour and 55 minutes, we find out some information that is longer term than Arteta let on. I would much rather GABRIEL than Calafiori. So I just don't see a world where I would sell GABRIEL, go without GABRIEL. You just don't buy GABRIEL. Like if your plan was to buy him this week, maybe look to buy Timber instead, or just delay it a week. And maybe going into next week, if GABRIEL's still a doubt, then we start to look elsewhere. But he's such a good asset. I wouldn't go without. Would you start Esteve or Rodon? Leeds are a better defense. I think they've got a slightly better fixture. I'd probably start Rodon. By the way, if you're enjoying the stream so far, please do smash that like button and make sure to subscribe. I appreciate it. Let's try and get to 500 likes super quick. Here for FPL says, good evening, Ross. Good evening, my friend. Hope you are well. 4 free transfers, 0.1 million in the bank. Gabriel, Romero, Senesi, Richards, Alderete, Romero to Chow. I still don't know how you pronounce his name exactly. Thanks for all the help this week, as always. You're more than welcome. I don't mind that transfer. He's been really good for DEFCON. He seems pretty nailed in the Newcastle defence right now. Yeah, I can't heavily criticise it. I mean, would I go for him? Maybe not. But I like Senesi, Richards, Alderete, Gabriel. You want to keep them. You don't want to sell Gabriel or Alderete, so your only option is Romero. Yeah, I would probably go for someone like Chow, then I like him, or Tiao. Mr. Shazam, thank you as always for the very, very generous super chat. It says, afternoon, mate. Loving the new channel. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Just some benching decisions for me. Donnarumma or Dubravka? Ooh, I'd still start Donnarumma. Start the better defender, or better defence. Then Reinders or Anderson as mid? I think I would start Anderson ahead of Reinders. Defcon should be very likely. You never know what sort of role he might play under Sean Dyche. I mean, probably still quite defensive. I think I'd lean Anderson. I don't really feel great about having Reinders this week, so I'll say Anderson there. Thanks for the content this week. Been really helpful as always. You're more than welcome. Thanks for the support. Kudos or Enjoy? Enjoy for me. Real Ben Mathers says, sent you an Insta message on a transfer idea that could work for you next week. I hope you're well this gloomy afternoon. I will reply to that after the stream, and thank you for helping me out. I appreciate that a lot. Sorry, by the way, if you're a member that has sent me a message today, I've just been flat out since I woke up. I did the FPL show, which was nice. I called him for that. And then I've been recording content for my second channel like all afternoon. So I've just not had a chance to look at messages, so I apologise. Alex says, hi, mate. I have Gabriel, Anderson, Foden, and Eze. Would you do a -4 to go Eze, Foden to Enzo and Anderson to Timber? Eze or Foden to Enzo and Anderson to Timber. Probably not. That doesn't feel worth a hit for me right now. Nah, I would probably lean no, just about. But again, it's one of those where I also don't hate it. It could definitely gain you points. So if you're feeling good about it, I'd go for it. But I would lean towards no. Or one move, Anderson to Burn or Chalobah. I ideally wouldn't sell Anderson or Gabriel. If you can get away with not selling Anderson or Gabriel, I would. If you're going to do one of those moves, though, I would probably go for the Timber one. So, okay, I would do no move, then Foden to Enzo, Anderson to Timber, then Anderson to someone like Burn or, again, Chow, I think his name, Chiao, the Newcastle centre-back. Izzy Gaming says, my wonderful shiny lobster. Hello, Izzy Gaming. Thank you for all of the wonderful nicknames. I've got your team. Take a hit or play Goodmanson. Play Goodmanson. Goodmanson's great this week. I mean, I'm very happy to have Rodon coming in if Gabriel is out. The Real Ben Mathers has also sent one FPL Raptor gifted membership. Thank you very much. I don't know who got it because I wasn't looking at the time. Thank you to Sim, by the way, for posting that link in the chat. I appreciate it. I don't know who got the membership. Oh, Emma. Did Emma get it? That's awesome. I think Emma might have got it. I can't quite see because the chat's gone now, but thank you very much, Ben. I appreciate that. Look at all of the love. All aboard the SAR train. Yeah, I mean, like your Palace assets now, you feel a lot better starting if Gabriel is potentially out. Kudos to Enzo. Is it worth doing or Reinders to Caicedo? I would be happy enough to do Kudos to Enzo. I don't know that it will definitely pay off this week, but Enzo Fernandez for me is definitely a better FPL asset than Kudos. Hey, Ross, remember what I said last week about Maguire? I do. Would you be tempted to start Guiu, or else I have to start one of Sarr or Munoz? I'd start Guiu. The thing is, like, everyone's getting way too hyped about Guiu. We don't know that he'll definitely start, and even if he does, we're not saying he's a game breaker. Sunderland are pretty decent, but I don't know. I think if I had Guiu, I'd be tempted to start him. Super Relax says, hello, Ross. I need your help. I have 2 free transfers. I want Foden and Anderson out, okay, which gives me 14 million. Okay, that's quite a lot. Who are the best duo to bring in? I have no Arsenal and no Chelsea and 1 Liverpool. Enzo and Timber. Assuming you can afford that. 6, fine. Yeah, should be able to easily. Enzo and Timber would be the 2 that I'd bring in Super Relax. Nice and easy. Bass, good to see you, my friend. Thank you as always for your support. I really do appreciate it. Hi, Legend. Hope you're well. Here's my current team. Okay, I've got you, Bass. 2 free transfers. Maybe Foden out. Also tough fixtures. Should I and for who? Okay, defence looks pretty good. Even in the absence of Gabriel, you're sorted. Midfield looks pretty solid, actually. Maybe Foden to Enzo. You don't have Enzo, right? Yeah. Foden to Enzo. Walter Messi, I've just seen, but that's made me laugh. Yeah, Foden to Enzo, and then maybe that'll allow you to upgrade. I think you could potentially roll that, Bass, but if you wanted to make a move, Foden to Enzo feels okay. But I wouldn't mind having Foden this week if you wanted to just roll. I wouldn't make 2 moves, because I don't think you really need to. Your team looks good. Stumpy2517 PvP says, okay, I've got your team. 5 free transfers. Bloody hell, 1 million in the bank. Really feel like I need a change. Okay. Defense, no. Don't think you do need a change. I like it. Rodon, Senesi, Munoz is fine this week. I like Gabriel and Anderson, even though they could have... Anderson's definitely out. Gabriel could be. Semenyo and Burmo, and Jai, Gravenberch, Reinders, João Pedro, Haaland, Gyökeres. I think for me, can you downgrade Gravenberch to Xhaka and upgrade Reinders to Enzo? That would be what I would do with your team. Gravenberch to Xhaka or Longstaff to free up the money to get you to do Reinders to Enzo. I think that's nice and easy. That would be what I would do anyway. Hi United says, I have Van der Ven as my 4th defender. Should I start him or keep Gabriel on? I would start Gabriel. I don't think you should bench Gabriel this week. Because if Gabriel's fit, he starts. If he's not fit, then you'll get your sub anyway. I would absolutely not be benching Gabriel this week. If you want to sell him, you can. But I think it's a classic case of don't buy, don't sell, don't bench. Just keep him, start him. And yeah, if you don't have him this week, then you can maybe look elsewhere. If you've already bought him for this week, that's tough. Start Gvardiol, Reinders, or Juve, thanks. You're more than welcome. I would start there. That's a tough one. I'd probably start Reinders of the 3 there, just about. Ahmed has been a member for 1 month. Thank you very much, Ahmed. Would you start Reinders over Caicedo? Already have Enzo, as I mentioned. The attackers are Haaland, João Pedro, Mateta, Semenyo, Saka. Thoughts? Would you start Reinders over Caicedo? No. No, I wouldn't. I would risk it on Caicedo. I'd start Caicedo personally. I really don't rate Reinders too highly for this week. I kind of have to start him by default because I don't have any other options, but I'd be pretty happy to bench him for other attackers. Would you do Bowen to Walter-Marda as West Ham look terrible? Not this week. Moving forward, yeah. And to be fair, Leeds have been a decent defence, but I feel like I would give Bowen 1 more week. Let's see how he sets up this week. Let's see how he does. If West Ham still look bad, if Leeds do well, then yeah. But I think I'd give that 1 more week. It's not like Walter-Marda's got a fantastic fixture. Even in the absence of Anderson, I still think Fulham will be okay defensively. Hi, Ross. Please go over Enzo versus Neto again. I just don't think Neto's been putting up the underlying data that warrants risking him, or even like an Estevao over Enzo. I just think Enzo is the best Chelsea attacking asset, so I would just go there. Romero out for Chalobah, James, Keane. Anyone else? I would be very tempted by Reece James, but probably the most sensible transfer there is actually Michael Keane. Save the money. It'll be good for DEFCON. Good attacking threat. Chalobah and James should start most games for Chelsea, especially Chalobah. I don't know. I feel like if you think you might need the money moving forward, then I would go Keane. Otherwise, maybe Chalobah. I would be tempted by Reece James myself. Are you considering Rodon over Reinders? I am. I think I'm going to leave it with Reinders because loads of people are selling Reinders this week. So maybe he'll just do that thing that FPL assets do where they return the week you sell them. And I might end up getting Rodon for Gabriel anyway. So I'll probably leave it as is. Philip Berg says, play Mukiele for Gabriel. No, just start Gabriel. Or transfer Alderete out. I would start Gabriel, and if Mukiele has to come on, you're absolutely fine. Budget is 4.7 million. No. Would you do Foden to Enzo? Planned Isidore to Mateta in Game Week 10. Foden to Enzo is one of those moves. If you've got the money and you've got the free transfers, yeah, fine. Or, sorry, if the money helps you moving forward. I don't think you need to sell Foden this week, though. I would lean towards saying, yes, I probably would do it, but only if you have multiple free transfers. Liz says, good morning. Wildcard is Sanchez, Gabriel, Timber, Senesi, Mukiele. Okay, I've got your wildcard. I won't read it out for monotonous reasons, Liz. 0.2 million in the bank. Any thoughts on who to bench? Love the team, firstly. That midfield 5 is perfect. Haaland, Mateta, Guiu. That's a great team. I would be tempted to pick Krupi over Guiu because you've got the money to do it. Otherwise, no, I think you've got that pretty spot on. Benching Mukiele, Richards, and Sarr. Probably with that team. Mukiele, Richards, and Sarr. Nice team, Liz. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. Ben Darwizi Nunez has gifted a membership as well. Thank you very much. It was Dean Greenway. You've just received a gifted membership by Ben. Thank you very much, Ben. Look at this. Everyone's being very kind on this Friday evening. Right, where were we? Polkit says, hi. Hello, Polkit. Good to see you. You've got 3 free transfers and 0.6 million in the bank. Should you roll? Defensively, well set up. You've got some backup. Midfield looks good. You've got Reinders and Xhaka on the bench. Forward line looks solid. Yeah, I mean, you've got the cover. If Gabriel does miss out, you've got Reinders or Xhaka coming on. You've got, yeah, I think that's a really solid team, Polkit. I would roll that. And then have 4 free transfers next week. Very nice. I have 1 free transfer, Isak to Hugo. Would that be fine? I don't know that I'd be messing around with that because apparently Isak isn't far away from being fit and he could even feature in this game. So I just wouldn't mess around with Ekatike and Isak right now. I would probably go straight for Mateta or Waltemada if I was going to remove Isak. The Scan Legend says Isak, Anderson, Gabriel can cover the defence with the bench, but not sure what to do about Isak. Have Reinders and KDH, one benched, or play both in case Isak's out. Yeah, you could just leave it. Reinders and Dewsbury Hall aren't bad options. Or you just go early on Mateta. Isak to Mateta. I don't think Isak's going to be a great option for a few weeks. Because even if he is suddenly fully fit, Ekatike is playing arguably at a higher level. So I'm just not seeing Isak as the option. So yeah, I'd probably sell. Hello, kind sir. Hello, Rio. On free hit, pick 2, Mbeumo, Gakpo, and Jaya. Definitely Gakpo with the way that he's playing at the moment. Mbeumo or Jaya, I'd back Brian Mbeumo. I think it's the sort of game that he could do well against Brighton. Sumac says, hi Ross, 4 free transfers. Have done Saka, Gabriel, Enzo for Salah, Agbadu, Reinders for 3 free transfers. Would you do James for Van der Ven for free and bench Lacroix or roll? Oh, James for Van der Ven for free to bench Lacroix. I tell you what, I really don't mind it because I don't think Van der Ven's a good option. James, I think, has a very high ceiling. I would be extremely tempted by that. I don't mind that at all. Callum says, hi Ross. Hello, Callum. 5 free transfers, 0 in the bank. Thank you very much for the super chat, by the way. Okay, so what are you thinking? Thinking Reinders, Gyökeres, Bruno, Tarko to Waldemada, Enzo, Saka, Richards. Yeah, I like that. Do you need to do that this week? Reinders, Gyökeres, Bruno, Tarkowski. Oh, I don't know about that this week. Next week, that looks a lot better. But then you are selling Tarko and Gyökeres for better fixtures. That's one of those, Callum, where I much prefer the 4 players you're bringing in as a combination, but there's never going to feel like a good week to do it. So maybe, Callum, you just get it done now. I kind of get it. Thank you for the super chat. I would say lean towards, yes, I would make the move, considering it's for free and considering that's what your gut feeling's telling you. Hello, you okay? Please rate my team /changes. 1.5 million in the bank and 2 free transfers. Okay, Donnarumma, Gabriel, Senesi, Tarkovsky, Rodon, Enzo, Saka, and Jaya, Semenyo, Reinders, Haaland, bench of Dubravka, Isidore, Anderson, Mateta. 2 free transfers, 1.5 in the bank. You've got Enzo. I mean, I would probably roll this week. I would be looking soon. No, would I? I don't know Reinders, and you've got the money. Who could you get to, though? You've got Enzo. You've got Njaya, so it'd be Sarr, which you probably want to wait for. I would lean towards waiting. What you eventually probably want to do is maybe Isidore down to Krupi, because Isidore doesn't look like he's offering that much value. And then that would allow you to get Reinders up. You've even got Mateta on the bench. It's a great team. I don't think you need to do anything on the team this week, Lewis. You okay?
I'm starving. What should I do?
Do what you want. If you need to cook or order, you can.
Should I just have some toast and me after?
Yeah, you do what you need to do.
Hello.
If anyone cares. 2 free transfers. Can't decide if I should do Foden to Enzo and or Reinders to Njai. I like both of those in all fairness. Foden to Enzo and Reinders to Njai. I guess you can't do Reinders to Enzo. If you could just do Reinders straight to Enzo, I love it. But I guess you need to downgrade Foden. Already have Grealish and 3 Palace, so can't do Grealish to Sarr next week. Yeah, I don't mind Foden to Enzo and Reinders to Njai. You just need City to not win like 4-0, otherwise you're in trouble. But yeah, I probably like those moves, Taylor. I'd say yes. Tarkovsky to Keane / Richards and Stack to Enzo. I don't mind that, yeah. It was similar to a move that I was looking at where I was getting Reinders to Enzo and I still liked it. So I would do those moves, Jay, yeah. Bob says, playing bench boost. Should I do Reinders or Stack to Enzo for free? Don't want to spread the money too thin. Would you bench boost with Gabriel? I would delay the bench boost now. I wouldn't feel comfortable bench boosting with Gabriel. As much as he could be fine, you just don't know. Would I do Reinders or Stack to Enzo? If you can do Stack to Enzo for free, I would do that. Or Reinders. I would sell either of them for Enzo. Paquetá to Njai, I don't have the funds for Enzo. I'd keep Paquetá, he's on pens. Could do well. Uti Patuti, hello. Hi Raptor, would you do Gyökeres, Reinders, Tarkovsky, Donnarumma to Mateta, Enzo, Timber, Pope for free? Loving the Geoguessr content. Thank you very much for all of the kind words on the Geoguessr content. Gyökeres, Reinders, Tarkovsky, Donnarumma to Mateta, Enzo, Timber, Pope for free. That's so borderline. Yeah, no. Switching Gyökeres to Timber. I like Pope, actually. Better than Donnarumma. I like Mateta. I think that could wait. Do you know what? No, I prefer the 4 you're bringing in. I would just about go yes. That's such a tough one again. These are very close. I kind of feel like if they're that close, you trust your gut feeling. And if you're feeling like you want to make the moves, make them. I don't love selling Gyökeres at the moment. I just feel like he's on the cusp of doing a little bit better. Maybe I'm just in Delulu land. Inshan Hall says, okay, I've got your team. Bench includes Sarr and Reinders. Really tempted to roll and trust the bench. Also Calvert-Lewin. Yeah, easy peasy. Gabriel's the only risk you've got, right? Yeah, and you've got players on the bench. You're already playing a back 4, so Sarr or Reinders would come on. I'd probably have Sarr ahead of Reinders on the bench for what it's worth, and I think you look good. Yeah. Hi, got Bowen on wildcard 8. Do I get rid to Waltemada? I'd give Bowen 1 more week and then move to Waltemada. Hi, Ross. Start 2 of Grealish, Sarr, and Njai. I would start Grealish and Njai. I'd go all in. I think Spurs look a lot weaker obviously than Arsenal do. I would start you 2 Everton boys. If you want to spread the risk, then start Sarr and Njai. I prefer Njai to Grealish. Should I start Stack or Ismaila Sarr? Ismaila Sarr. Hi, Ross. How are you doing? I'm doing well, thank you. Foden for Enzo. Yes, I'd be happy to do it. Mateta for João Pedro, game week 10, or Njai in for Reinders today. Can't do both. I'd probably lean towards the Mateta in for João Pedro. I'd leave the money to be able to bring in Mateta next week. I think a lot of people want to do that. Ichabers says, start Gabriel and Tosin, bench Munoz and Esteve. Chances of Gabriel or Tosin don't play. Munoz comes in anyway. Yeah, I think so. I think start your stronger attackers, and then listen, if Munoz and Esteve have to come in, you're feeling pretty good about that. Dean says, thanks, Ben. Bench Kudus or Reinders or Krupi Jr. Ooh, tough one. I'd start Kudus and Krupi and I'd bench Reinders. Hi, Ross. Start Reinders or Rodgers. I think Rodgers did well in this picture last year. Wasn't it the 14-pointer? I'd start Rodgers. Honestly, Rodgers looks like he's starting to kick back into gear. Is this a week to go against Haaland captain, feeling Foden? I mean, if you want to, but you're telling me that if City score 3, 4, 5 goals, you think Foden outscores Haaland? I don't mind backing against Haaland, but surely not in the same fixture. It just doesn't feel like in any given week that anyone's got a chance of outscoring Haaland. Like, obviously they can, it just doesn't feel likely. Corstub says, my bench, Dubravka and Jai rode on Reinders. Do you like the bench boost? Concerns in the starting level, Arsenal, Gabriel Raya versus Palace, Dorgu, Van der Ven. Game week 11 is a good week for bench boost for me. I don't mind that bench boost. I kind of feel, though, if you can bench boost in 11 and your bench looks equally good, of course there could be issues in 11, but with the issues with Anderson and Gabriel and other players, it kind of does feel like maybe just wait. Unless you don't own Gabriel, I probably would delay the bench boost now. Like the idea of the mids, don't love Gyökeres and João Pedro. Any thoughts on a change there? At 110k ranks, so try not to panic. Cheers for the content, mate. I'll have to go back and try and find your message. 1 second. Where were you, Mr. Stumpy? I've lost your message now. How have I lost that? I don't know how I've lost it. That's annoying. I'm not going to be able to help now without seeing your first message. Don't love Gyökeres and João Pedro. Any thoughts on changes there? Well, I can answer that. I think you give Gyökeres and João Pedro 1 more week. I don't see a desperate need to rush him out when Palace have been susceptible to conceding and João Pedro could be starting in the 10 where he's much better. I just think both of them deserve 1 more week. Next week, if they blank again, we'll have a serious discussion around Gyökeres and João Pedro for sure. And yeah, thanks for all of the support, Stumpy. I appreciate it. Hi, Ross. Romero and Richarlison out. Reece James and Welbeck in. I quite like that. Yeah, I've got no issue with that. Go for it. I equally think you could downgrade Romero all the way to a cheaper defender and go for like Waltemada or Mateta, but Welbeck has been looking good. Cruzy says, part 1, price changes have been brutal. 50-50 decisions going into season for me. João Pedro 7.5 versus Bowen 8. Started with Bowen. He dropped to 7.7, whilst João Pedro decimated my rank scoring headers every week. I remember. Then I sold Bowen to João Pedro in game week 6. Bowen had dropped to 7.7. JP risen to 7.8. JP has stopped scoring and since dropped to 7.5 and Bowen is back to 7.8. Goodness me, that's about as rough as it can get. Sorry to hear that. I don't know why I'm laughing. It's brutal. Sorry about that, but thanks for sharing your pain with us. Thoughts on Semenyo cap? 300k, love the content. Thank you, Toby. I don't mind it. I've got Semenyo as the 5th best captain, I think. Where is my captaincy? Come on, captaincy. There it is. I've got him as the 3rd best captain. So Haaland, Saka, Semenyo, yeah. I still think I prefer Saka just, if you have Saka as well, but I don't mind Semenyo cap. Agnibus says, hi Ross, got Romero in my team with 0.1 and 2 free transfers. Anderson injured and Rodon as bench cover with Gabriel doubtful. Possible replacements, question mark. It's a rough transfer this week, but Romero to Richards feels like the sensible move because Richards is the best long-term own. If you don't go for Richards, Chalobah, if you can afford him, I don't know what the price difference is there. Outside of that, if you've not got Senesi and you can afford Senesi, I would go there. But I do think that Richards is probably arguably the best shout there because you can't get to Munoz, Reece James, Timber, Calafiori. If you can sacrifice this week Richards, if you can get to Chalobah, I like him as a shout, or Senesi. I'd probably say one of those three. Jason Prince says, hi Ross, 13k rank. Hello, Jason. 3 free transfers and 3.1 in the bank, but have Reinders, João Pedro, and Elliott. Would you be aggressive and get Saka, Krupi, and Enzo, or roll again? Saka, Krupi, and Enzo for Reinders, João Pedro, and Elliott. I like that. What I would probably do is just sell Reinders for Enzo. I think. And then next week, I certainly think, by the way, you can make the other two moves. So make one move this week, Reinders to Enzo, or actually, Elliott to Enzo is probably the better move. Elliott to Enzo, bench Reinders, and then make a decision next week if you want to sell João Pedro to get Saka. That's what I would do. Oh, lost where I was. Hi, Ross. Play Reinders or Anthony this week? I'd go Anthony. Dubravka, Reinders, Goodmanson, Van der Ven, bench boost if I own Gabriel. I would rule out the bench boost if you own Gabriel personally. Hi, Ross. Enjoying Chalobah versus Enzo and Keane / Chow. I would go Enzo and Keane. Blicky94, 3 free transfers. I've got your team. Plan is Tarkovsky, Chow. I need to know how you pronounce his name. I keep forgetting. Kudus. Tarkovsky to Chow. Kudus to Enzo. Petrovic to Sanchez. Next game week, Gyökeres to João Pedro to Mateta. And Bruno to Saka. Lovely plan. Yeah, Tarkovsky to a Newcastle defender of some kind. Kudus to Enzo. Petrovic to Sanchez. I like those moves. I don't know that you'll be massively up on points this week. It feels a bit little sideways-y, I guess. But I like the moves overall. Romero, Reinders, Richarlison, 5 free transfers, 0.7 in the bank. Senesi, Enzo, Igor. Oh, Romero, Reinders, Richarlison to Senesi, Enzo, Igor. Yeah, easy. Easy. Get it done. Thiago's a player, by the way, that is probably going under the radar as a cheap forward. Like, no one's really looking at Thiago, but I think he's the 3rd top scoring forward in FPL. Carl says, hi, mate. Hope you're well. Can you rate? Okay, I've got your team. Same front three as me. Similar midfield, but you got Kudus and Burmo in there. That's nice. Calafiori is a cheeky pick. Yeah, I don't mind it. If I was to talk about your weak spots, Carl, I think Van der Ven, I'm not feeling massively as an option. I think I'd probably rather Enzo Fernandez than Kudus, and then maybe just keep an eye on Pedro and Gyökeres moving forward. But largely, that's a pretty good team. Rogers for Enzo, love your stuff. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Hugo. Would I sell Rogers for Enzo? Yeah. I do think that Rogers could do something in this game, but I would be happy to make the move. Yeah. Jacob says, hi Ross, on wildcard, thoughts on a Chempong as the 5th defender? I wouldn't go for it, no. I mean, it could have some upside, but it's probably not worth blocking a 3rd Chelsea spot. So I would go for Rodon, Alderete, Mukiele, Goodmanson if you want to go for a 4 million defender. I probably wouldn't risk it, Jacob, but it could have the upside. It's just like, how much upside, and is it worth blocking that 3rd Chelsea spot? That's what I would think about. Hello again, my beautiful director of football. Hello, TJ. Start or sell Salah? I'd start him. I'd give Salah the Brentford game and then move him on after that if he looks poor again or doesn't get the minutes. But I think he'll start. Bina says, wise one. Hello. 2 free transfers. Want to get rid of Isak and Reinders. Only thought I like is Mateta. Feeling a spicy Gakpo over Enzo. Thoughts? And if I got Sarr and now Mateta, do I start Dubravka over Raya? I really like Gakpo and Mateta as an option. I still do think Enzo, taking into account money as well, is a better asset than Gakpo. I wouldn't mind buying Mateta this week and starting. He's on pens. Arsenal might be without Gabriel, but even if they're not, Palace are the best attack in the league this season. So I would go Mateta and Enzo, but if you can afford, which you should be able to, Mateta and Gakpo, I like that too. Do you start Dubravka over Raya? I still think you start Raya. I don't think it matters who you own. I think you just start your best assets, and Raya is one of your best assets. Danny Gray says, Minter to DCL and Enzo to Krupi. Krupi, 8th attacker, thanks. Minter and DCL to Enzo and Krupi. Yes. Get that done. Nice and easy. Shaunalan 9106. Hello. Good to see you. Thoughts on my team? I've got your team. You got 0 free transfers, 1.1 million in the bank. Overall rank 88k. Fair play. Let me know in the live chat if you are inside the top 100k. That is fair enough. I am, unfortunately, I'm not. That's an understatement to say that I'm not. Sorry, your team. I like the defense. I love the midfield. Brilliant midfield. Great forward line. Lovely team. Lovely. Like, your bench has got Sanchez, Munoz, Sarr, King. And it's a great team. If I could change something, I don't know that I would. In fact, I would start Sanchez probably ahead of Dubravka. But otherwise, that's a great team, Sean Alam. MN Chuckster says, hi, 3 free transfers. Want to be a bit proactive. What do you think about Mbermo to Gakpo? Don't have money for Saka, sadly. By the way, if you're looking for some new content, Haaland just started his YouTube channel. Have a good weekend. I did see that. What a legend. It was actually a really good video, by the way. If you've not seen Haaland create a YouTube channel. Mbermo to Gakpo, I don't love because I think this is a good fixture for Mbermo. But in the long term, I think Gakpo's a great asset. If you're feeling a bit proactive and wanting to get aggressive, I really like Gakpo as an option. But I also really rate Mbermo as an option too. Scuba Steve says, hi Ross. Defense decimated. Have Gabriel, Romero, Anderson, Mukiele, Senesi. No space for Arsenal. 1 free transfer. 0.7 in the bank. Thoughts on Romero out for who? Bit early for Palace players in my opinion. I'd still go Munoz. It is a bit early, but you're looking at bringing in players now for the long term. Like 1 week shouldn't massively adjust your opinion. So, yeah, your defense is battered. You need to make a transfer. I'd get Munoz in. I'd go Romero to Munoz. If you don't want to, Reece James could go for a cheeky punt on, or Chalobah, or I'm struggling, drawing a blank for anyone else. No, I would go Munoz. I think I would, yeah. Sorry, Scuba Steve. I know you don't want that answer, but that's what I would do. Geordie says, hi Ross, thoughts on Xavi, Isak to Walter, Messi and Saka? I like the Walter Messi nickname. Xavi, Isak to Walter, Messi, Saka. Very easy, yeah, get that done. Paul, good to see you, says wildcard. Okay, I've got your wildcard, Paul. Unsure on my cheap midfielder, 4 million defender, and JP versus Mateta. I would absolutely have Mateta over João Pedro right now if I could only own one of them. This week, I'd prefer João Pedro, but moving forward, Mateta. Best 4 million defender, for me, if it is 4 million, it is Goodmanson. If you've got 4.1, I think Alderete, Rodon, Mukiele, etc. all good. I think Mukiele's 4.1 now. If he's 4, then Mukiele. Anyway, back to the question at hand. And cheap midfielder, who have you got at the moment? You've got Anderson. I think my favourite cheap midfielder is Granit Xhaka, if I had to choose right now. But it's a nice team, and good luck on your wildcard, Paul. Thank you for the super chat. Forever a Gunner says, brought in James for Porro, Gabriel doubtful. Who should I keep as first sub, Esteve or Munoz? I love Munoz, man. Esteve's got the much better fixture, a chance for DEFCON, but I would go Munoz. Munoz is just so elite. Start which of the following two? Njai, Rodon, Van de Ven, Dorgu. The first two, Njai and Rodon. Harshill says, hi, Ross. My team is Sanchez, Dubravka, Gabriel, Timber, Senesi, Anderson, Rodon, Sarr, Enzo, Saka, Dewsbury Hall, Semenyo, Haaland, João Pedro, Fraser, and 4.2 in the bank. And Burmo or Gordon for Dewsbury Hall. I don't love either of those massively, but you've got Enzo and Sarr already. I actually really like Brian Mbermo still as an asset. So maybe Brian Mbermo. You've got Saka. I don't know that I would sell Dewsbury Hall, to be honest. Don't know. I'd be tempted to roll with that team. If you're going to go for one, I'll go Brian Mbermo, Harshall. You could definitely roll that team, though. Hey, mate, would you go Reinders to Enzo for a hit? Depends what the hit is part of. If it's literally just Reinders to Enzo for a -4, probably not. Hi, Ross. Thoughts on Foden, Romero, Richarlison to Enzo, James/Munoz, Mateta? Love it. Yeah, I'd get it done. I'd probably go Munoz. Gay or Van de Ven already have Munoz, Gyökeres. Probably Van de Ven. Esteve versus Wolves or Richards versus Arsenal? I'd go Esteve. Free hit viable, have Gabriel, Alderete and Anderson. I'd probably risk it and just hope Gabriel starts. If that's the only thing that's making you free hit, that you have 3 injured defenders, then no. If your team is also looking a bit rubbish, then yeah, maybe. Tony says, no Gabriel backup. Would you go Romero to Van Hecke, exact money, to go Reinders to Sarr next game week, or go Rodon to get Enzo or Sarr next game week? Depends who your other defenders are, Tony, but I would lean Rodon and leave yourself open. Like, I don't think Van Hecke is that much better than Rodon, for example. By the way, guys, if you are enjoying the stream, please make sure to like. There's 2,600 people here and only 300 likes. That is a very low like ratio. And also, I'll ping it in the chat. If you've not subscribed to my other YouTube channel, please consider doing so. I'm going to take a sip of water, but whilst I take a sip of water, I've just spammed it in the chat 100 times. Please subscribe to my new YouTube channel. I appreciate it. You got an hour and 24 minutes until the deadline, by the way. Plenty of time. Plenty of time. What am I doing with my team? That's a good question. Thank you for asking. I am looking at rolling at the moment. Like, if Gabriel's out, I get Rodon. I don't need Anderson as long as another defender doesn't also miss out, because I've got Rodon there, Senesi and Tarkovsky. And Stack is okay backup if I need him as well. I don't think I'm going to bench boost now, because I want to keep Gabriel and Anderson long term. So removing the pair of them to bench boost or risking a bench boost with Gabriel just doesn't feel right. So yeah, I'm going to just probably leave it as is. I have a bit of a discussion, I suppose, around Pope versus Dubravka, but yeah, that's where I'm at the moment. What would you like to see a poll on, guys? What would you like to see a poll on? Let me know in the chat if there's something specifically you'd like to see a poll on. Guys, if Gabriel is injured, is Kroopy Jr. good? Yeah, if you've got Kroopy subbing in, then go for it. Best song from the Dave album. I've not actually had a massive chance to listen to the Dave album. I know Pickle listened to it yesterday. And also, we've bought tickets to see Dave in like March. I think it's like March 12th or something like that. But yeah, we've... Second?
It came out today, silly Billy.
You bought the tickets this morning?
No.
Oh, the album?
The album came out today.
I thought it came out last night.
No, it came out at midnight today.
Were we up that late last night?
Yeah, I was up until 1 a.m. listening to it.
Goodness me. What happened to Evan Olsen? He's out for Game Week 9, but possibly back for Game Week 10. Clickbait title, or is Gabriel confirmed injured? Not clickbait title, I'll put a question mark. Lol. No, Gabriel is possibly injured. That's not clickbait. Arteta said that he's got an issue and that they need to assess him over the next 24 hours. Why did you transfer out Raya? I just needed Bukayo Saka in my life, and I am loyal to my own detriment to big boy Gyökeres. And I wanted to keep him. So I wanted Saka, didn't want to sell Gyökeres. I don't think Raya's a great asset anyway. Keeps the clean sheet. The annoying thing is now, everyone and their mum owns double Arsenal defence. And if Gabriel's out, they still get their Timbers and Rayas. I'm without Arsenal defence if Gabriel's out. So that's the only slight issue.
This kind of helps my benching decision situation.
Well, you're not benching Gabriel though.
No.
I was going to say.
My thought process is I'm going to start Rodon, right? And if Gabriel starts, then cool. I hope my double Arsenal clean sheet stays. But if Gabriel's out, I get Sar off the bench anyway.
So you're still starting Rodon ahead of Sar?
Yeah.
Okay. On wildcard, would you do Raya, Caicedo, and Kroopy to Pope, Sar, and Guiu? What would I prefer? Raya, Caicedo, Kroopy, or Pope, Sar, Guiu? I prefer the Pope and... Hello. I prefer the Pope and Sar bit, but I prefer Kroopy to Guiu. That's tough. Probably Pope, Sar, and Guiu. Also, I prefer Munoz to a second Arsenal defender. Would you agree? I like Munoz. Yeah, probably, actually. Maybe. Who knows? I think it's very close. I think I do love Munoz. So, yeah, I'm going to lean towards saying yes. Have you been sure about Haaland captain all week? It's actually not that easy to pick a captain this week. I think it is. I've been saying now, like, my issue with captaining someone else is, like, what is your reasoning for it? Villa haven't been very good. Haaland is still playing at a high level, and no one else has a great fixture. You can't tell me Semenyo has a great fixture when Sean Dyche is now in charge. You can't tell me that Palace are a terrible defence. They'll concede chances, but I just don't see anyone else that I really think I would captain. Let's run a captaincy poll. Who are you captaining for Game Week 9? I think it'll mostly be Haaland. Semenyo, Nottingham Forest. I'll probably put Saka as the third option. Add option, Saka against Crystal Palace at home. And then other. Longstaff captain. I respect it. There we go. I put a captaincy poll in the chat. Feel free to go and vote on that captaincy poll. You seen the Arsenal training pics just released? No. Was Gabriel in them? I'll have a look in a second. Justin NTA Bone 3065. 2 free transfers. Reinders and Gyökeres to Saka and Kroopy. I'd be very tempted. I don't know definitely, but I would probably lean towards yes, Justin. Bolivian Navy has become a Raptor X member. Thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate that. Thank you for... I feel like you was already a member, though, no? Maybe you've upgraded. Yeah, I think you might have upgraded then. That's very nice. Or just renewed. I'm sure you are a member already. Hi, Ross. Pick the best transfer. VDV to Van der Ven. VVD and VDV, I always get mixed up. That's Van der Ven to Munoz, Elliot to Sarr, João Pedro to Mateta in Game Week 10, or Van der Ven to James, Elliot to Minter this Game Week. The Game Week 10 transfers, Sumac. Good luck, lad. Bench one of Foden, Kudus, Reinders, Sarr. Thank you very much. I would bench Sarr from Reinders. I'd bench Reinders, then Sarr, then Foden, then Kudus. Triple captain Haaland, City 4 days of rest, Aston Villa only 2 days. I think Haaland's a great cap, but I'm not necessarily on triple cap. Guys, what was in the Arsenal training pictures? Someone just said, have you seen the Arsenal training pictures? Can someone go check that out and let me know? Was it on their Twitter or was it on like Getty Images? Training gallery. Okay, here we go. I assume Gabriel's not in them. We can look at it together though. Let me know if you spot Gabriel. Timber. Max Damon. Timber again. No Gabriel in the background. Or at least not clearly. Raya's there. Not Gabriel. Not Gabriel. That's Wanyeri. Timber. Lots of Timber. Timber's clearly Calafiori's there. Zubimendi. Martinelli being pictured a lot. There's Calafiori again. Looks like he scored. No sign of Gabriel there. Saliba, Timber. Yeah, can't see him. They wouldn't put him in the training pictures anyway. Like Arsenal, a king. Ben White there. Good to see Ben White back in training. Not if you're a Timber owner. No. No. No sign of Gabriel in there. As you'd expect. No Saka either. Oh, that's a point. There was no Saka. Oh, that would be a kicker. if Saka were out, oh, that would be painful as someone that sold Bruno last week. I'd be getting Stack and Rodon off the bench for Saka and Gabriel. That'd be tough. Reinders to Enzo -4 when Isak to Voltemada. I'd lean no, but I don't hate it. I would probably not take the hit though. Arteta plays FPL. No Saka in training. I wouldn't say no Saka in training. Just not pictured. I'll share it because it could mean something. Interesting stuff. By your logic, Saka is also injured. I don't know what logic that was. I just said Gabriel wasn't in training. Wasn't pictured in training. I didn't say he doesn't start. Tom McKenzie says, I can only start one of Rodon, Richards, or Van der Ven. I'd start Rodon, probably. Khan says, remove Foden and Richarlison to Enzo and Mateta. Yeah, easy peasy. Already have João Pedro. I can then bench Reinders, alternative roll, and make the change after the deadline, in which case I start Foden versus Enzo and Reinders and Richarlison benched. I would make the moves and bench Reinders, Khan. I'd feel pretty happy about that. And thank you for the super chat, my friend. Mark you triple captain for a super left field play. No, not even a captain option. Get out. Get in the bin. What? Oh, she's on the phone. I thought she said something to me. Sorry, I just shouted down the mic. Would you bench boost with Raya? Yeah, what's wrong with Raya? Raya was in training. I'm really hoping Saka's fine and that is just classic Arsenal mind games. Arsenal do this, man, with their players. They do often omit them from training pictures for the trolls. Bench 2 of Reinders, Eze, Munoz, Gabriel. Reinders and probably Reinders and Eze. I'd probably start the 2 defenders, you know, believe it or not. I probably would. In terms of the captaincy poll as of right now, 86% on Haaland, 8% Semenyo, and then 3% Saka, 3% other. Is it viable to play Dubravka over Raya? Not for me. I mean, is it viable? Yeah. Would I do it? No. Baby Gzip says, thanks for the awesome content as always. Start 2 of Gew, Reinders, and Stack. Good luck to everyone. Thank you very much, my friend. I'd bench Stack from those 3 options, probably. I'm going to go from possibly bench boosting to needing literally all of my bench. It's crazy. Are you bench boosting? No, definitely not. Definitely not anymore. I wanted to, but Gabriel and Anderson both flagged. Saka, for some reason, wasn't in the training pictures. I think I'm going to be needing my bench this week. I think so. I probably wouldn't bench boost with Gabriel for those asking, but maybe I'm overly hesitant. Maybe I'm too cautious, but that would be enough to put me off the bench boost now, personally. Are you going to buy Enzo Fernandez? Not this week, I don't think. I've not got a really easy direct route. All of the routes just didn't feel quite right. And it might be that next week something happens where I'm like, I'm so happy selling Gyökeres. Like maybe he gets 60 minutes, looks terrible. Even before Burnley, I might sell him. Or let's say João Pedro once again looks really poor. Maybe João Pedro down to Walter Marder frees up the money to be able to do the Reinders to Enzo move a bit easier. I just think having 3 free transfers next week offers me a lot more flexibility in terms of what I can do with said transfers. Should I transfer from a Stack to Enzo or Sar? Stack to Enzo is an easy transfer. Bench one of Stack or Sar. I would start Ismaila Sarr ahead of Stack. But I just don't think Stack's a very good asset, guys. I would start most people ahead of Stack. He's just not it. His attacking threat's been low. His defcon's been low. He might not start every game with Tanaka available as well. So, who are the best Foden replacements? Got 3 Arsenal, but no Saka. Just Enzo Fernandez, Ismaila Sarr, Iliman Ndiaye would be my top 3. You could go Brian Mbeumo if you wanted to go a little bit more left field. Sarr or Thiago? I would start... Oh, that's a tough one. I'd probably start Thiago there because he's on pens. Start Sarr or Xhaka? Oh, that's a tough one. So Xhaka's got the lower ceiling but the higher floor. Sarr's got the lower floor but the higher ceiling. If you want to play it safe, Xhaka will get you 4 points almost definitely. Sarr could go and get you a bit more than that. Ben has gifted another membership. Thank you very much, Ben. You've been very kind. Arnav has been the one that received it. Thank you very much. Everyone's just being legends. Absolute legends. Top 5 Van de Ven replacements. Top 5. Can't afford Gabriel at the moment. If you can't afford Gabriel, Timber and Munoz should be right up there as options. If you can't afford them, you want to drop down a bit more. Reece James, I really like. If you're dropping down to 4.5, the best 4.5 defenders are Richards and Anderson. Anderson's injured and Richards plays Arsenal, so not great weeks to move there. I still don't hate the idea of going for a Chalobah in that sort of mid-price range as well. Yeah, it depends on what you need them for, how much money you actually have. Benching headache central now. Laugh, don't cry. Laugh, don't cry. Sorry, Sim. I'm feeling okay about my team this week. I don't feel like it's going to be a great week for me. I'd really rather not a red arrow. I could do with kind of getting back towards the top 1 million, but we shall see. You take what you can get in FPL, and what I can get at the moment is a lot of reds. Dave says, thinking Isak and Foden out and Mateta and Saka in. Yeah. This still leaves me with Reinders and Pedro, plus 2 injured defenders on the bench. Have 3 free transfers, 0.5 in the bank. Well, I need to see the whole team, I guess, Dave, but I think Mateta and Saka in for Isak and Foden feels good. I'd be happy enough to do that. Ross, why not Reece James? I've spoken about Reece James quite a lot, Luke, but I mean, if I'm saying who's a better long-term option out of Timber, Munoz, Reece James, it's Timber and Munoz. Obviously, if you don't have the funds to go, they're great. And I mean, I could in my team do Tarkowski to Reece James, but I think the transfers will be more useful for me coming forward. Saka's not in any training pictures and wasn't at the team mill in London. Where's that last bit come from now? Oh dear. Is that Gabriel in the group photo on the right? I don't think there was. Where have we seen about the group mill bit? Rice isn't in training pictures also. Oh, that's a good point, actually. I don't think I did see Declan Rice. Yeah, maybe it's just classic. Like, Arsenal do this. Like, don't get me wrong. We've seen on multiple occasions where Arsenal just don't put a player in the training pictures. Is Gabriel confirmed out, or is it still up for grabs? Still up for grabs. I think the exact quote was he's out with an issue, and they need to see how it evolves over the next 24 hours. It was something along those lines. Do I expect Gabriel to start? Honestly, no, I don't. But that's just a guess. And I would start him in your teams because if he does, you never want to bench Gabriel ever. Saka out confirmed on X. I've not seen that. Not seeing that anywhere. I think that's just people trolling. If I get Saka news, I will share that with you, of course. All we've seen thus far is a random set of trading pictures where he wasn't pictured, but it is Arsenal, so take it with a pinch of salt. I wouldn't do anything with a pair of them. Maybe if you were thinking about buying him, maybe wait the next hour, just in case we got something. But, yeah, I wouldn't stress for now. What this would mean for me is I just don't see the bench boost working for many teams right now. There are so many random doubts over certain players. You learned that the hard way with Gabriel, I remember. Yeah, last season I benched Gabriel for a 15-pointer, a 9-pointer, and a 6-pointer. That was the 3 times I benched him last season. Don't bench Gabriel. Can you explain the Gabriel situation? All we've seen is Arteta in the press conference says Big Gabby, he called him, has picked up an issue in the previous game and he hasn't trained. We need to see how he develops over the next 24 hours. So he's left it very open-ended. Arsenal, about 20 minutes ago, uploaded training pictures. There was no Gabriel. There was also no Saka and no Rice. So it could just be Arteta and Arsenal up to their classic mind games, which they've done before, or it could mean all of them are injured, or it could mean that none of them are injured. I have no idea. So if Gabriel doesn't start, can I sell him? No. Don't sell Gabriel. Don't bench Gabriel. Start Gabriel, whatever you do. For goodness sake. Arteta loves the mind games. And this is a big game, by the way. Don't get it twisted. Like Crystal Palace, he'll see this as an important game to win and a big game. So the mind games have started. You say start Gabriel, but surely if he plays, it will be off after 45, 50 mins. Why would they do that, though? If Gabriel was a doubt enough that he could only play 45 minutes, they just wouldn't risk him. He's too important to them. Whereas if he can start, why not just play him for 80, 90? Yeah, he might get subbed around 75, 80, but Arteta doesn't really sub off his centre-backs. Like, I don't think you'll see that too often, especially not in the 50th minute. So I think he'll either just be on the bench or not. I think he'll either be out the squad completely, or I think he'll be in the starting 11 and play 90 minutes. Hi, Ross. Is a Senesi essential? I'm not fully convinced by the Bournemouth defence. Nope. Not essential by any means. There are other defenders also getting DEFCON. And again, Bournemouth's defensive data is okay, but not exceptional. There are teams with better data. Like Leeds, by the way, are a team that have such good defensive data. 3rd for expected goals conceded. I reckon Mascara will be subbed on around 50 mins. Fair? I don't, but we can see. It's just not really something you do with a defender. Play them for 50 minutes. Hef J8 says, I have Gabriel, Anderson and Alderete, so I need cover. That's fair. 1 free transfer and 0.8 in the bank. Do I sell Anderson up to Burn/Chalobah or down to Rodon to open up 1.2 million in the bank for Reinders to Sar/Enzo next week? In all fairness, I know that would leave you with Alderete and Rodon, but they're both pretty good, Alderete and Rodon. You'd be happy enough if you have to start one of them in some weeks. And I'm assuming you've got another defender, along with Anderson and Gabriel. I don't love selling Anderson, though. I would be tempted to just not make a move and hope Gabriel plays. But I think if you do, I would be tempted to go down. Rodon down. I don't know who your other 2 defenders are. Let me say it like this. If your other 2 defenders, alongside Gabriel Anderson and Alderete, are good defenders that you're happy starting every week, I would go down, if not go up. And I would go probably Chalobah. It's definitely mind games. I wouldn't be surprised. Who is the best Newcastle defender? It's the guy's name that I can't pronounce. Chow? Thiaw. I would probably go him. But he's not nailed for he's nailed for the foreseeable, but not extremely long term. Hey mate, I've sent you a message about Gabriel. On what format? What is this on? Is this on Instagram? Oh, I see. Far right behind the coach is Gabriel, if you want to tell the stream. Do you think that's him? I can bring that up on the stream, for sure. Is that him? This is what Luke's just sent me. Is that him? What do you think? Is that big Gabby's head? What I would say, they're not boots, are they? Could be Saliba. Yeah, it could be Saliba, actually. Also, are they boots? They look like trainers. You think it's Saliba? Yeah, I do think Saliba... No, because Saliba's in this picture. Saliba's in the photo. Like, Saliba is part of this team. Do you remember? Saliba was down here, bottom left. I think that could be Big Gabby. Can't be Saliba, yeah. Could be Jesus. In fact, yeah, it doesn't look that tall. Like, Gabriel's massive, isn't he? Like, Gabriel's huge. That guy doesn't look huge. I don't know. It's Declan Rice. That made me laugh. Definitely Declan Rice. Anyway, thanks, Luke, for attempting to help out. Villa says, Isak Stack Van de Ven to Bowen, Enzo Timber. Is Isak Gyökeres crazy? Isak Gyökeres isn't crazy, no. I don't know about Bowen. I wouldn't buy Bowen. I would go Walter-Marda or Mateta, Enzo and Timber. I do like those moves. I would go Isak Stack Van de Ven to Walter-Marda or Mateta, Enzo and Timber. Start Mateta, Stack, or Juve. Mateta. Hi, Ross. Elliot Anderson or Reinders to Enzo? I would sell Reinders first. Adrift Mosquito says, have the same team as you, except Raya, Bruno, Mukiele for your Pope, Saka, and Rodon. Okay. 4 free transfers. Anything you'd recommend? Transfer/roll. No, I'd probably roll. I think if your team looks pretty similar to me, but you've got basically Bruno over Saka and Raya over Pope, and if Mukiele has to come on, then he has to come on. I think that's probably a roll team. You have got about an hour till the deadline, just over an hour. Yes, I saw your super chat, KLDAI. Cold day. I said start Mateta for that one. Start Eze or Grealish? Ooh, probably Grealish. Is Gakpo an option? Absolutely. Absolutely, for sure. Would you pick Josh Chempong on a wild card? I probably wouldn't. It's just not worth the risk. I think you could start the next few, but no. Not hugely. Calafiori or Timber? Timber for me. If I put Gabriel first on my bench, does my second player sub in if Gabby doesn't play? Yeah, so if like Gabriel's first sub, Anderson's second, and Rodon was third, if Gabriel and Anderson didn't play, you'd get your third sub instead. So they keep going for you to try and sub on a player, obviously assuming that they are the correct positions. Like assuming that you're playing a viable formation, I should say. Like if you've got 3 at the back and you've got no defenders and 3 of them don't play, you won't get a forward obviously sub on, for example. So you have to be playing a viable formation, but it will go through your bench players in order. Start Rodon or Mukiele. I'd lean Rodon probably. Sarr or Rodgers? I think that's a tough one. I might go Rodgers. I don't think either of them will do that well. Start Eze or Longstaff. Thanks. That's actually a tough one. You know, I'd still start Eberechi Eze, I think, there. But I like Longstaff. I wish I had Longstaff rather than Stack. Tempted by Semenyo captain. I don't hate it, but like you're backing against the crowd. Like, look at the captaincy poll. 86% of people are on Erling Haaland. Baby G Zip just gifts £5 and just says thanks for the content. Thank you, you legend. I appreciate you very much. Thanks for being a member as well. P. Josh says, hi, Pickle and Egg. Hello? I'm struggling with who to bench. 2 of Tarkowski, Munoz, Grealish, Reinders, Mateta and Ekitike, or make transfers with 2 free transfers and 1.3 million in the bank. I'd need to sort of see your whole team, know your plan to know whether I think you should make transfers. If you need to bench 2 of those players, I think it's Reinders and probably Munoz. I think Reinders and Munoz are the 2 that lean there. I like Tarkowski being the home fixture. Grealish I like as well. And Mateta and Ekitike are brilliant, right? Mateta's on pens. I think Ekitike will start. So yeah, I would probably go Reinders and Munoz. Should I stick with Kudus or switch to Enzo? If you've got no other issues in your team, multiple free transfers, and you can do it for free, I'd be happy enough to do it. I don't know that I'd force it, though, if I didn't have multiple frees and it was going to require a hit, or the rest of my team just looked pretty poor. Shaunak says, hi, Ross. Hello, Shaunak. Current team is Pope, Senesi, Rodon, Timber, Enzo Eze, Semenyo, Mbermo, Haaland Cap, Waltermada, and João Pedro. My bench is Dubravka, Sarr, Anderson, Juve. What formation to pick? Roll or transfers needed? I think you're probably about right. That's a 3-4-3. I think that's okay. Is there anyone that you can start Sarr instead of? Not really. I think you've nailed it in terms of your starting 11. I would have the team exactly the same. Would I make a transfer that team? 1.1 in the bank. I don't think so, Shaunak. I think keep the team exactly as it is and don't make a transfer would be the way that I would lean. And again, as always, I appreciate your support. If you're one of the 3,200 people watching right now that isn't subscribed, please consider subscribing. Make sure to drop a like on the stream as well. And also, another little cheeky plug for my new YouTube channel. If you've not subscribed to my new YouTube channel and you like Geoguessr and or geography content, then please click the link in the live chat right now or just type in GeoRaptor on YouTube. Bramjot says, hi Ross, bench boost deactivated. Question 1. Gabby in the 11, but first bench Richards or Rodon. Rodon, definitely. Question 2, start Sarr or stack? I would go Sarr. Same bench as you, but Richards instead of Anderson. When is a good bench boost week? Thanks. Game week 11 probably stands out as the next best bench boost week for most people. Yeah, I would go start Gabriel, Rodon, stack Richards, and I would start Ismail Sarr. Yeah. Wait, did I say that right? Anyway, at first bench Rodon, and I would start Sarr ahead of Stack. In fact, though, you could, like Pickle, for example, she's starting Rodon ahead of Sarr, I think. That's not a bad move either. Like, Rodon's got a good chance for a clean sheet, and Sarr's got a low percentage chance of scoring. Should I... Hello? I said you're starting Rodon ahead of Sarr. Yeah. Should I start double Palace with Munoz/Mateta or put in Goodmanson for one of them? Would I start Goodmanson ahead of Munoz? Probably not. I'd probably just start your double Palace. MLSUS Piero has become a Rap Tier 1 member. Thank you very much, my friend. Tarkowski and Reinders to Keenan Enzo. Yes, I like that a lot. I like that a lot. Could you... Okay. Someone answer me. Hello. How long does Jokeres have left? Probably 3 weeks for me. Like even if he's like, let's say worst case scenario, Jokeres plays 60 mins, and then he goes into Burnley and Sunderland. Can you sell Jokeres before Burnley away? I don't know. Gabriel is out. I don't think we've had that confirmed. If anyone has a source at any point that they see, because obviously I'm not scrolling through Twitter, I'm just sat here chatting to you, then please let me know. Would it be bonkers to start Goodmanson ahead of Mateta? For me, yes. Goodmanson ahead of Lacroix on the bench. Yeah, I don't mind that one as much. Rodon or Reinders first on the bench. I would go Reinders, but I think there's certainly justification to start or have Rodon ahead of Reinders for sure. Bench Mateta or Gordon? I'd probably start Gordon ahead of Mateta. Start Richards or Mukiele? Oh, tough one. I'd start Richards there. Was Jokeres in the photos? I don't know, actually, was he? I think he was. I think I might have seen him in 1 or 2. Was Jokeres in training photos? They've probably just not put their entire team in it. MLSUS Piero says, hi Ross. Hello, my friend. Rodon or Richards, Anthony or Xhaka? Thanks. Rodon ahead of Richards, and I'll probably go for the upside and start Anthony ahead of Xhaka. So yeah, Rodon and Anthony. I will just say though, Richards and Xhaka will almost definitely hit DEFCON. So Richards might get you a 3, Xhaka might get you a 4-pointer. So Richards and Xhaka have a higher floor, Rodon and Anthony have a higher ceiling. Yeah, Gyökeres was in the training photos. Okay. Good to know. Start Richards or Mukiele? Richards. Start Sarr or Caicedo? I would go Caicedo. Is Gabriel definitely not playing? No, he could play. I've not seen anything which definitely makes him confirmed out. Agbadu, Williams, Anderson, Porro, Senesi. Help. Yeah, that's not ideal, is it? Senesi, Porro, Agbadu, Williams. You might get away with it there. If not, I think I'd probably lean towards selling... I mean, is Agbadu going to start? I've not really been keeping track of it. Porro is probably the one that stands out as the worst asset considering price. I don't know what to do there. I would probably lean towards selling Agbadu unless Wolves fans think he has a chance of starting. I think Gabriel is okay because they play on Sunday. Let's see. It depends how serious the injury is, of course. Rage Lins B 6537 says 2 free transfers. Just Reinders to Enzo or Caicedo, and bring in Reece or Chalobah. And if the second, Reece or Chalobah. Who are you bringing in Reece or Chalobah for? If I was going to go 1, Chalobah's probably the better long-term pick. Reece James has the high upside in the short term. I would go Enzo. I don't know who you're bringing in Reece or Chalobah for, so can't answer that part. Chris Pepper, 1989, says 0 in the bank, 3 free transfers, Game Week 10 wildcards, get Arsenal and Palace. I have none. Okay, I like it. But should I swap Rodgers, Bowen, Wood, Bruno out for now, and for who? No, probably not. Like, you can just bench probably Chris Wood out of those options there and start Rodgers, Bowen, Bruno. There aren't tons of players that I'd be that desperate to bring in. I think the free transfers are more useful post wildcard. I'd leave it. If not bench boost this week, when is the best one? I'm probably looking at 11. I'll show you quick. There's a link down below, by the way, if you want to check out Fantasy Football Hub. So this is this week. Obviously, we can't do it this week. Now, I don't think. Next week, it's not awful, by the way, but let's assume Anderson is out, or let's say he's fine. It's Senesi against Man City, Dubravka against Arsenal. So Game Week 10 doesn't feel great. Game Week 11 feels the next best week. Assuming Anderson's okay, assuming no injuries picked up, this is probably the way that it will look. Now, if I still have Reinders by this point, you could argue that Reinders would be on the bench instead. But I still think that's an okay bench. Dubravka against West Ham, Reinders against Liverpool, Stack against Forest, Senesi against Villa. And like I said, at this point, I might have upgraded some of these players anyway. Like when I look at my entire 15, apart from Reinders against Liverpool, no one has a bad fixture this week. So I think 11, if 11 swings round and I'm still struggling to bench boost, what I'm going to do is just wait until I get the 5 free transfers and bench boost somewhere around 17. Like Dubravka's got Bournemouth, Rodon has Crystal Palace to my cheap assets. There is a chance that the bench looks okay. The current defenders I have don't have terrible fixtures other than Tarkowski. So basically, I think 11 or 17 are my 2 most likely weeks to bench boost. Start 2 of Paquetá, Ismail Assar, and Dewsbury Hall. I would probably bench Ismail Assar there. I quite like Dewsbury Hall this week. I think he's been pretty good, actually, and unlucky not to get more. The Premier League app has crashed, has it? Sure that's not on your end? Seems a bit early for it to be crashing. Would you bench boost with Gabriel or Dow? I personally wouldn't know. Start Munoz or Mukiele? Munoz for me. Can you please tell me who's the best replacement for Richarlison? If you've got no money to upgrade, Welbeck or Thiago. If you've got money to upgrade, then Walter-Mada or Mateta. Problem with bench boost 17 is loads of players rested over Christmas. That's true. It is pre-Christmas though, isn't it? What week is 17? It is right before, isn't it? Yeah, maybe that's an issue. It's not got a midweek deadline either side, though, which is nice. So there's no midweek Premier League game. Yeah, that could be something to put you off. I mean, ideally, I'll play it in 11. As long as in 11 I've got 15 players, I'll play it in 11. Are people paying much attention to the poor Palace result and poor performance last night? Was basically a full 11. The Palace XG, though, was was crazy. Palace. 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 Where are their matches? Here we go. Stats. There you go. There's the XG. 1.76 for Palace. 15 shots. They only conceded 0.2 XG. Now, I'm not sitting here saying it was a fantastic performance from Palace, but I also don't think you can sit here and say that it was a great performance from the other team that they deserve to win. I think it was one defensive mistake, and they didn't convert their chances. But they had their chances. Mateta had another ridiculous number of chances. Um, 0.81 XG. One big chance missed. It was two big chances missed yesterday, but yeah, you get the picture. Bring back FPL therapy. When I have the time, maybe, and energy, for sure. I've just got a lot going on right now, and it takes a bit too much time, energy, money, everything. Ross, would you transfer out Fernandes to Saka? If you've got the money, no other issues, and you prefer Saka this week, yeah. I'd be happy having Bruno Fernandes this week, though. Rice also wasn't in the training pictures, so I wouldn't take anything from it. Yeah, this is it, man. Like, they probably are just mind games. What to do with Nico Williams? I wonder if he might slyly start to become one of the better cheap defenders. Like, with Sean Dyche taking over, I'd be tempted to hold on now. You've kept him this long. Like, how have you had Nico Williams this long, to be honest? That's the first question. Do we have Gabriel news? Will he play? Nothing, really, sadly. Just the quote from Arteta, so we don't know. Would you do Reinders to Caicedo or save the transfer? Only 0.3 in the bank and 1 free transfer. Not able to go for Enzo or Sarr. If you rolled the free transfer, would you be able to go for Enzo or Sarr next week is my question. Like, is there a way for you to free up some money? If so, I'd maybe wait. Like, I like Caicedo, don't get me wrong, but Enzo and Sarr are better assets. Hayden Ferguson says, 1 free transfer this week. Porro to Timber. Yeah, I like it. Have Gabriel and was thinking bench boost. Benches to Bravka, Juve, Anderson and Estev, or wait until game week 11. Porro to Timber. Have Gabriel was thinking about bench boost, benches to Porro. I mean, that is a bench boostable bench, but just not worth the risk, I don't think. Now, yeah, I'd wait until game week 11, Hayden. I'd wait until game week 11. Sometimes waiting is better and you don't end up with a benching headache every week. Yeah, possibly. Bench one of Tarkovsky, Rodon, or Reinders. Rodon. See, do you know what's weird? I initially thought, I just went Reinders straight away, but I'm starting Reinders. It's a weird one, though, because like my gut instinct told me, I just said Reinders to you then, but I don't think Reinders is great. I think you could bench Reinders or Rodon there. I'd start Tark. Start Munoz or Elliot Anderson. Oh, that's tough. Chase the upside with Munoz. Why not? Tony says, Reinders and Gyökeres to Mbeumo and Waltemada or Enzo and Mateta. Enzo and Mateta for me. Enzo and Mateta for me, Tony. Minte or Rodon? I would start Minte this week, I think. Manchester United will concede chances for sure. Foden, Bruno, Richarlison, Reinders to Enzo, Stack, Saka, Mateta. Love it, but I wouldn't go Stack. I'd go Xhaka or Longstaff, Mohit. But otherwise, it's nice. Are there any midfielders you recommend other than Gakpo, 7.5 million in the bank? I would say Enzo, Sarr, and Jai. I just go for the cheaper ones and save the money. Don't take hits was my motto start of the season. I've used the wild card and taken 8 hits already. Sometimes you just got to do it, you know? Sometimes you just got to do it. Especially if you're more of an aggressive player. That's absolutely fine. There are multiple ways to play the game. Start one of Van der Ven, Estev, and Rodon. Still Rodon, I think, there. Do you think Achempong starts? I still think he will start this game, yeah, I do. But I don't know that. I'm not a Chelsea fan. I'm not tracking their centre-backs' fitness. Stack is on the bench according to Leeds Insider. Really? Goodness me, then I've probably got to transfer him out. Is that saying, is there an account called Leeds Insider, or are you saying according to a Leeds Insider? Don't know. No European hangover. What, for Palace, potentially? According to a Leeds insider. Oh, okay. If Stack is benched, then it makes my decision a lot easier in terms of I need to get rid of Stack for Game Week 11. It's crazy how Haaland's form doesn't feel like form anymore. He's just so good. I agree. Is this the final team? Yes. Yeah, it is. I think so. Don't get me wrong, I'd love to remove Stack, but I just don't really want to do a sideways switch to like Xhaka or Longstaff. I'd much rather roll the transfer next week, try and make a series of moves, which involve me being able to get Stack up to at least someone like, even if it's a Caicedo, just someone better. Start Vicario or Dubravka, please. Good question. I'll go Dubravka probably. Ham, hi Ross, talk me out of Reinders, João Pedro, Gyökeres to Enzo, Mateta, Waltemada. Listen, if you were to ask me who would I prefer, I would prefer Enzo, Mateta, Waltemada, but this week I don't necessarily think that's a huge upgrade. Like I like João Pedro and Gyökeres this week. I talk you out of it. I don't really want to talk you out of it, but I would be pretty happy. Well, and I do. Like, and this is the thing. Like, you're talking to me who has Reinders, João Pedro, and Gyökeres. I'm happy to give, especially the two forwards, one more week. Things change very quickly in FPL. You give a goal to João Pedro and Gyökeres, and all of a sudden, and by the way, guys, like if you look at Rob T FPL, you might not care about bookies odds and market odds, by the way. You might think they're a load of nonsense. No, that's the projected points. This was what I was after. The top 3 players for market projected goals are Haaland, João Pedro, and Gyökeres. So maybe we'll remove our FPL bias for a second and say, if you're following what the bookies are doing, and the bookies make a lot of money correctly predicting stuff, Haaland, João Pedro, and Gyökeres are the top 3. So I think you can give them a bit longer. Burn or Paquetá? Paquetá. Start the penalty taker. Man, you need to get lucky with 1 or 2 pens and you're feeling great. MLSUS Piro's upgrade to a Raptor X membership. Thank you very much, my friend. I appreciate that. Who to start out of a Stev, Juve, or Richards? I'd start as Stev. Rodgers to Enzo, or wait a week and do Rodgers to Sarr. I'd probably just do Rodgers to Enzo and get it done, Benjamin. I have a similar team, but I want to remove Gyökeres and Reinders. I don't blame you. I considered that, and in all fairness, I might do that next week, potentially. Play Goodmanson or Munoz. I've answered this a couple of different ways, I think. I think I would just lean Munoz. But Goodmanson's a really nice asset to start if you wanted to. Start Dewsbury Hall or Reinders. I'd go Dewsbury Hall. Yeah. Is this the final team, Rossi boy? Yep, I think so. Not definitely. I mean, things can change. Last week I said it was the final team and then made a couple of last minute changes. Do I regret them? Slightly. Ross only chose his team due to his colour scheme. It is very nicely colour schemed, isn't it? You got the nice diagonal... Oh, that way. No, this way. It's mirrored. I can't bend my hand. The nice diagonal lines that way. Oh, God. Trying to do something when it's mirrored is so tough. Because this is my right hand, but it's on the left-hand side of the screen. Very confusing. It's not even mirrored. It's just like, you know, words. Play Anthony or sell Reinders for Enzo. I'd sell Reinders for Enzo. I wouldn't mind playing Anthony, by the way, but I would get it done. You know? My name is Rage like you've never seen before. Okay, that Rage Lynsb. Makes sense. Rage like you've never seen before. I'll remember that. Start a Stev or Van de Ven? A Stev. Yeah, Stev. Sarr or Longstaff? I have double Arsenal defence. I don't mind Longstaff. Yeah, I don't mind starting Longstaff on that occasion. Bench order, Dubravka, Xhaka, Richards, Anderson. Agree? Agree. Yeah, I'd have Xhaka ahead of Richards. That looks good to me. Sell Van de Ven to James or start Rodon? I'd just start Rodon. Unless you really want Reece James, of course. What are you doing with Gabriel? Just starting him, and I've got Rodon to come on, worst case. If Rodon and Saka were to both miss out, or Rodon and someone else, I don't love having Stack coming on, especially as someone's just said that there's a rumour that Stack might not even start. But I'll deal with that as and when. What are your transfer plans? For this week, roll, and then assess what I want to do with 3 free transfers next week. Hello, Ross. When is a good game week to use my wild card? If you've not already used it, I think 12 or 13 look the best 2 weeks. There's a bit of a fixture swing around those game weeks. Maybe game week 12, go a little bit earlier. If not, 13 looks good. I wouldn't leave it much later than that because I just don't think you'll need it. I think it'll be a bit of a waste. You're the man, Ross. Your guidance usually goes well. I try. I probably give a lot of good advice throughout the week, but I certainly give a lot of bad advice because it's just like I'm trying to predict the future at the end of the day and it's not easy. Am I a bit smaller today than normal? I feel like I'm a bit further down than normal. Don't know why I only just decided to do anything about that. Not that you necessarily want me to be much bigger on your screen, but I think I was a bit small. Hello, Ross. Would you -4 wood or start king? I'd be tempted to maybe just get rid of wood at that stage. New house question. If you and Pickle agreed on a date, you'll put up the Christmas tree this year. Probably 1st of December. That's a naughty question, Shazam. Or statement, I should say. Thank you, Rush. You're a legend. Finally read a comment from me. I try my best, mate. I know that I don't read out as many comments as I'd like to, but I try my best. Is Gvardiol a hold? I'd be pretty happy to sell Gvardiol, especially if it, like, downgrading him allows you to upgrade elsewhere. You look disgusted at anything other than the 1st of December. Well, it has to be the 1st of December for the Christmas tree. Guys, when did you put up your Christmas tree? Baby G Zip says, stack to Enzo for a hit. If you're having to start stack, along with Anderson and Richards, this is coming from Anxiety that was just posted, along with Anderson and Richards. So, if you benched stack, then who would you start instead? I'd end up benching Reinders for Enzo. I actually don't mind that then, Baby G Zip. I'd be tempted to do it, yeah. Also, plug for GeoRaptor. Thank you very much for the plug. My wife would have it up right after Halloween. She's a nutter. 12th of December. 20th of December. No, you can't go that late. I don't think you want to go in November. November seems a bit psychotic. But December, like the 12th or 20th, like you're not getting much of it. What's the point in having the tree up? On the 1st of December, I'm not going to break into song. You should start your advent calendar, put up your Christmas tree, bish bash bosh, Bob's your uncle. Things you love to see. Reinders Gvardiol to Enzo James on a free. Yeah, I'd get that done. If you can afford Munoz, I still prefer Munoz to Reece James. Usually the first weekend of December. Yeah, that makes sense as well. I respect that. Would you replace Isak with Ekatike? I'd probably just move away from them. I would just go to like Mateta, Watermard, or something like that. You've got just over half an hour until the deadline, guys. Have you watched GOT? Is that Game of Thrones you're asking me? If the question is that, then yes. If it's something else, then you'll have to let me know. Geoguessr now. I've already played so much Geoguessr today on camera. I've recorded the next 2 videos today. I need to edit them. One will be going live tomorrow morning, by the way. Why not? Another little plug. Subscribe. There'll be a video on Saturday morning, tomorrow morning on that channel. But yeah, I've already played so much Geoguessr. I'm knackered. I recorded for 2 hours before this live stream. So that's like 5 hours of non-stop speaking. Playing 4 centre-backs. First sub Sar or Rodon, potentially for Gab. Rodon versus Sar is like 50-50. I'd have Sar ahead of Rodon, but I think it's close. Meant to say would you on the super. Let me have a look. I think I missed it anyway. Callum says, do I still bench boost? Bench of Guy, Dubravka, Senesi, Estev, starting Gabriel, Gvardiol, and Juve. I kind of feel like you've got your bench wrong. I would have started Senesi ahead of Juve quite comfortably, actually. So would I bench? That's a great bench, man. That's so tough. But Gvardiol and Gabriel, I think you've probably got enough doubts there not to bench boost Callum. But I would have Senesi in the starting 11 personally. If you wanted to still risk the bench boost, I could understand it. -4 for Salah and Gyökeres to João Pedro and Haaland and Saka / other. Salah and Gyökeres / João Pedro to Haaland and Saka / other. Salah and Gyökeres to Haaland and Saka. So easy if you can afford that, yeah. Absolutely. 2 free transfers. Transfer Isak and Reinders to Pedro / Watermada and Gakpo. Isak and Reinders to Pedro / Watermada and Gakpo. Yeah. Would I buy Pedro? I'd probably buy Watermada. Isak and Reinders to Watermada and Gakpo. I like that. Would you play Watkins or GW9 and Juve or Porro? I'd probably play GW9 ahead of Watkins. Slight minute doubts. I think Villa will struggle. Juve or Porro? Probably Porro. Juve's benching would spook me a little bit. Wildcard 12, Guiu or Krupi in? I would go... Krupi's minutes will be better, but Guiu's got better fixtures. But I think as soon as the lap's back, he'll start. I would go Krupi ahead of Guiu. Reinders or Anderson out? I would sell Reinders before Anderson. Thomas51679 says, hi Ross, 3 free transfers. Salah, Reinders, Van der Ven to Saka, Bruno, Chalobah. Or Salah, King, Van der Ven to Bruno, Njai, Gabriel. I would go for the Saka, Bruno, Chalobah combo. I like that a lot. Yeah, option A, Thomas. Would you rather transfer in Njai or Sarr this game week? Sarr. I mean, this week Njai is better, but I'd rather own Ismaila Sarr across the next 4 to 6 weeks. Start Sarr, Reinders, or Rodon? Sarr, probably. Enzo and a Chempong to Tarkovsky and Stack. Wait, what? Do you mean Tarkovsky and Stack to Enzo and a Chempong? I assume. I think you've got them the wrong way around, James. There's no way you're buying Tarkovsky and Stack and selling Enzo. Okay, so Tarkovsky and Stack to Enzo and a Chempong. Plan to put money back in defense after I sell Gyökeres in a few weeks. Rest of the team is essentially yours. I don't mind that. Yeah, I've got no huge issue with that. If I could afford something similar, I would be very tempted. I don't think I can. And also, like, then, I don't know, my defense would look... I think I'm 0.1 off of this, if my maths is correct. Yeah, I'm 0.1 off, right? Unless Enzo went up again. I don't even know. No, I'm 0.1 off of that. That would have been nice. That would have been nice. But then I just think a Chempong's an issue moving forward, right, for me. As someone that doesn't have the wild card available. But anyway, sorry, I like the moves, James. If you can make those moves, I would be on board with them. Gabriel to Timber and bench boost. I wouldn't sell Gabriel, man, no. Although that is a very good bench. Like, if you really want to get the bench boost done, maybe. But I think as of next week, you'll regret selling Gabriel. You'll just want him back in your team. He's so good. For Hal, says Reinders, Bruno, Raya, Tark to Enzo, Saka, Pope, Keane. Nah. Not for me. Not for me. Tarkovsky downgrade to get Reinders to Enzo, if you can afford to do that somehow, yeah. I just think as a set of 4 transfers, I don't know that massively upgrades your team this week. Thor, good to see you as always, my friend. Wife is mounting a comeback. I said morning. Mounting a comeback with 77 over 69 last game week. Very nice. My final decision is Virgil or Goodmanson up the Albion this weekend. Don't know what Albion that is. Are you saying Brighton and Hove Albion? Hopefully not. Virgil or Goodmanson? I think you got to go Van Dijk, man. I think you do. He's been monstrous in the air in competitions other than the Prem. For the Netherlands, in the Champions League. Does Calafiori Timber cover Gabriel, Vamos the Egg? I mean, yeah, especially this week when Gabriel's a doubt. I think when Calafiori and Timber are on the pitch, they're as good as Gabriel. They're just not on the pitch, you wouldn't imagine, as often as Gabriel. Mateta and Calafiori or Watermada and Timber? Wow, that's tough. I'd go Mateta and Calafiori, I think. Do we have any team news just tuning in? No. What team news are you looking out for? Who do you want to know if they start? I'd like to know if Stack starts, in all honesty. There's not a lot I can do with him, in fairness. Here's a fun one. Mateta versus Arsenal, Goodmanson versus West Ham. Mateta for me. Penalty taker. I'm not going to bench a penalty taker for a Leeds defender. Raya and Reinders to Enzo and Pope. I don't mind that. I think you could do worse. Free up an Arsenal slot as well. I'm looking out for Chelsea. We're not going to get Chelsea team news, but it's the Leeds West Ham game, isn't it? What is this stuff about Gabriel? In his press conference, Arteta said that Gabriel picked up an issue. He hasn't trained and he'll be assessed over the next 24 hours. Take that as you will. Might be mind games, might be true, might play, might not. I'm going to start him, and I've got Rodon as my sub. I have 2 friends working at Bournemouth. Evan Nilsson is supposedly out for 3 weeks. That wasn't what Iraola said, but maybe true. Krupi's a fine option for the meantime. I do think once Evan Nilsson's back, if Krupi continues to play well, he might stay in the 11. He's certainly worth consideration if you need a cheap forward. Anderson Aminte to Enzo and Rodon. Yeah, probably would do that. Keane or Rodon for Tarkowski? Keane, as long as it doesn't block you from future stuff, I'd prefer. But I mean, Rodon's fine as well. He'll do the job. Leeds have been so good defensively. Like I say, 3rd for XGC this season. Are you making any transfers? I'm leaning towards no at the moment. We've got under 30 minutes till the deadline, so a little bit of time to think about it. I'm surprised my camera hasn't died yet. Like I said, I was recording 2 hours of content for this channel here before my live stream, and I thought that would mean that my camera would die by now. It's probably right on its last legs. I don't play FIFA, really. I don't play many games outside of Geoguessr and FPL, which is why they're my 2 YouTube channels, right? Many thanks for your help, mate, Pope or Dubravka. Thank you very much, my friend. I would start Pope, as I am. I'm benching Dubravka. Would you bench boost even with Gabriel? You could risk it, but I wouldn't. Great, you just mentioned your camera. Watch it go bang. Yeah, literally. I used to play Minecraft. I don't play Minecraft anymore. When's the next Geoguessr video out? Tomorrow morning. You would love Football Manager. I probably would, yeah. Probably would. What time do you guys wake up on a Saturday morning? Can you spam in the chat what time you wake up on a normal Saturday morning? At like something AM. I just want to know what time to upload my video. Do people get up early on a Saturday? 8 a.m? 9 a.m? 9 a.m? 8 a.m? 9 a.m? 6:30? 4:30? 8 a.m? 8:30? 9? 11? Oof. That'd be nice. 9 a.m? Okay, maybe we'll end at 9 a.m. then. Okay, I think my Geoguessr video on my new YouTube channel, which again is in the chat now for you, is probably going to go live at 9 a.m. tomorrow. There you go. Thank you for your... That was a bit of market research for me. Let's get back to FPL. That means most people should hopefully be awake. You okay? All good? Okay. Is it worth punting Ekatike as captain instead of Haaland? It does feel like trying to get a bit too clever, personally. Ross, what would your Game Week 9 look like? Did you miss words out of that sentence? This is my Game Week 9. I assume that meant to say free hit or wildcard, probably. Tarkowski and Reinders to Enzo and Chalobah. Is it worth it? Yeah, I'd be tempted. Yeah, I'd probably do that. Adrift Mosquito. Start Giyu over Elliot Anderson. Yes, probably. Or bench boost with Dubravka, Estev, Giyu, and Reinders. I would be willing to bench boost that as long as you don't have Gabriel. If you have Gabriel, I wouldn't be willing to risk the Gabriel stuff. He might be fine, by the way, but he also might not. The new Football Manager game just dropped series when... I've never played Football Manager. That's my reason for not really doing it. Also, I've just got so... If I make another YouTube channel and start uploading Football Manager stuff, I think I wouldn't be able to sleep. I'd have no spare time. I meant, what would your wild card look like? Oh, I don't know if I have the energy, time, or anything to build a wildcard draft right now. It would look similar to mine, but I would have Mateta instead of Gyökeres. I'd have Timber instead of Tarkowski. And I wouldn't have Reinders or Stack. That's the main stuff that I would change. Football Manager 26 is so bugged right now, it's not worth playing. Okay. I'll take your word for it. Yeah, I don't really have the time to play anyway. I'm so flat out, like I said. You've got 25 minutes until the deadline. 25 minutes. Hello, Ross. Hello. Start 2 of the 3. Porro, Tarkovsky, or Estev. I'd start Tark and Estev and bench Porro. Patridis11 says, hi, Ross. I have 2 free transfers. Which do you prefer? Romero to Rodon / Mukiele, so I can upgrade Reinders to Gakpo or Enzo. Option B is Romero to Munoz and Kudus to Enzo. I like Romero to Munoz and Kudus to Enzo long term the most. Like, option 1 sounds quite spicy this week in particular, but I think long term Munoz and Enzo are 2 assets I'd love to have. APAC Lolra says, hi, Ross. I have 3 free transfers, no backup defenders if Gabby doesn't play. Okay. Roll to 4 free transfers, 2 Anderson to Keane, 3 Reinders and Anderson to a Chempong and Enzo. With any option, I can move Gyökeres Pedro to Mateta next week in 1 free transfer. As long as you're happy with him potentially becoming a dead spot in the near future, I do really like the Chempong and Enzo combination. After that, I think Anderson to Keane is a fine transfer too. So I would say 3-2-1 in order of what I like the most, APAC. Start Mark Guiu or Saar. I'd probably risk it on Guiu. Would you bench boost with the Gabby doubt? I probably wouldn't, no. It'd probably be enough to put me off. Start Rodgers over Reinders. Thoughts? Yeah, I probably would start Rodgers over Reinders. I have 5 free transfers. Would you do Reinders to Paquetá? Probably not. I'd probably wait and try and get him to Saar or... I mean, if you've got no other move to make, yeah, I'd rather have Paquetá than Reinders. So yeah, maybe. But I'd probably wait, ideally. Reinders to Caicedo would interest me more, probably. Would you start Caicedo over it in Jai? Probably not. I'd start the penalty taker, I think, there. Mateta or Reinders? Definitely Mateta to start, for sure. Start Guiu or Foden? Foden, just. That's a tough one, though. I'd like to start both of them, really. Is there another player that you can bench? Should I sell Foden or Reinders for Enzo? If you can do Reinders to Enzo, I'd prefer that. And then you can always sell Foden next week. Hi, would you start Raya or Dubravka? Definitely Raya. Definitely Raya. What's the plan for your team, Ross? This week, roll. Next week, use 3 free transfers to probably get rid of Anton's stack and to probably upgrade Reinders if I can. I'd like to upgrade Reinders and stack, and I think the way to do that is going to have to be to sell João Pedro or Gyökeres. So next week, I'm going to have a very difficult decision to make. Sell Gyökeres or João Pedro, buy someone, and then, like I said, probably upgrade stack and Reinders. Maybe I only need to do 1 next week. I probably don't need to upgrade both of them, do I? Because then I might create a bit of a benching headache for myself. First bench is Richards or Goodmanson if Gabriel is out. I'd go Goodmanson ahead of Richards, I think. Yeah, Leeds defender ahead of a Palace defender, unless it's Munoz. That makes it a bit trickier, just because of the attacking threat. Would you sell Toss into Senesi? Thanks, Ross. I mean, Senesi is owned by so many people that you're not gaining much, but I do just really still like Senesi as a long-term shout. The thing is, after the Forest game, which is a great game for him, by the way, it's 2 tricky games in a row, City Villa, although Villa you could argue isn't, and it's another really nice run here. Like, look at that run for Senesi. And Semenyo, by the way. So yeah, I still think Senesi's a nice asset to buy and own. From a past footballer perspective, what fixtures would you as a winger look the most forward to if you were playing in the Premier League at the moment, and why? That's a good question. What players what teams do I think are susceptible to conceding down the wings? I'd probably enjoy playing against a 3 at the back, simply because I would enjoy like pushing their wing back backwards. Like, that's always a good battle. Like, if you've got an attacking fullback or wing back up against you as a winger, and you are doing so much that is pushing them backwards, that'd be exciting. Like, Manchester United probably would be a good fixture. I'd love to play against Ahmad. Like, Ahmad's not a right back, is he? So I'm a left winger, so yeah. Yeah, probably Aston Villa. I'd fancy myself against Matty Cash or Luca Dean. Yeah, maybe Aston Villa's the shout. Bench Sarr or Dewsbury Hall. I'd honestly be tempted to start Dewsbury Hall. I've been so impressed every time I've watched him. Reinders or Rodon first sub? I would just lean Reinders still, but I do think you could start Rodon ahead of Reinders, you know. Like, I'm not, but I think you could. Guiu or Krupi? I think Krupi's got the more of a chance of getting long-term good minutes. Like, as soon as the lap's back, unless he re-injures himself, Guiu's not getting near that 11 very often. Whereas Krupi could keep his spot ahead of Evan Ilson. Evan Ilson's not done tons this season to say that he justifies keeping that spot every week. Geordie EMS has become a Rap Tier 2 member. Thank you, Geordie. I appreciate that. Hi, Raptor. Thoughts on Tarkovsky, Reinders, and Gyökeres to Calafiori, Enzo, and Mateta? Could delay it a week, but maybe price down. I certainly think that can wait a week. Like, you're buying Calafiori and Mateta up against each other. Enzo's great for this week, of course, but Gyökeres could do well. Tarkovsky's got a home fixture. Like, I would probably wait, and if you do get priced out, then you could just go for someone else instead of Calafiori. Munoz is there. Reece James is there. So I would probably wait, Kieran. But if you fancy the move this week, then by all means go for it. Bernardo Poku says, what will you do here? 0.2 in the bank and 3 free transfers. Have my bench boost and wildcard. I mean, you're verging on being able to use that wildcard, but I don't think you necessarily need it. I mean, bench Brooks this week. The rest of your team looks okay. Defense-wise, Dubravka, Estev. I mean, your defense is the big issue, I guess. But is there anyone that you can bring in that is massively better this week? I'd probably just start Senesi, Estev, Juve. I'd probably roll the transfer, Bernardo, and then assess next week. Bench boost with Williams, Estev, Anderson, Dubravka, Dorgu. Williams / Estev, Anderson, Dubravka, Dorgu. As long as you've got no major issues in the starting 11. If you own Gabriel, that would put me off, but by all means risk it. Berad Tard says, hi Ross, 5 free transfers. Okay, and this is my team. I've got your team. What should I do? 5 free transfers. Well, it depends how much money you've got in the bank, but my immediate thought was Enzo Fernandez is missing. You don't really have an obvious player to sell him for, though. I wouldn't say. Like Anthony Gordon, you could. Kudus, you could. Don't think you necessarily desperately need to. Then your defense looks great. I would honestly just use 1 transfer and then reassess next week. So either Isidore to Krupi, or Van de Ven to a better 4.5 defender like Richards or... Don't even know. Yeah. Van de Ven to Richards or Isidore to Krupi and keep the 5 free transfers. Basically, your team's great and you've got 5 free, so don't use your transfers just for the sake of it. Nitin says, deciding between Timber and Calafiori on a wildcard, definitely Timber. He just looks more nailed on. Calafiori's had a lot of early subs. Lewis Skelly is a better backup than Ben White. Calafiori's also, for me, eye test-wise, I just prefer what I see from Timber. Timber's better for DEFCON 2. I think there's enough to make me still believe Timber's a better option than Calafiori, but maybe not that much in it. Connor says, hi Ross, I'm on wildcard this week. Had an eye on bench boost 11. Says, it worth swapping Mukiele to Rodon? If you think Mukiele's a much better option, no. But if you think it's close anyway, yeah, maybe back the player that has the better bench boost fixture. Also, Pedro Mateta, Watermada, second striker, and Senesi or Botman. Definitely Mateta out of those 3. Senesi or Botman, I'd go Senesi. So Senesi, Mateta, and Rodon would probably be the way I lean. Start 1 of Gabriel, Anthony, Munoz, or Reinders. Gabriel. And have probably Anthony first sub. Salah says, my Gameweek 9 team. Okay, I've got it. Should I start Minte? So who would you bench if you started him? Arias. I'd probably start Minte ahead of Arias. Like, Man United have been very susceptible to conceding. I don't know what Arias' data and minutes have been like. I've not looked into it too much. We can have a quick look now. Seeing as you sent in the super chat. I've not cared about Wolves at all. But unless it's really good, which oh, there you go. There's my camera gone. Camera. 1 sec. Yeah. Okay. It's turned itself off. Sorry. What was I doing? Arias. Unless Arias' data has been astronomical, then no. And it's not really. No, it's been terrible. I would start Minte instead. Sorry about the camera going, guys. As I say, I was recording loads of content for my second channel before this stream, and I didn't think about the fact that that means my camera would be on its last legs, and I don't have a backup battery. It charges whilst it's going, though, so in about 20 minutes, which is going to be after the deadline anyway, I can turn it back on. Okay, where was I? And Anther, hi Ross, do you think Esteval starts? I had him in as a punt last week on my wildcard, or do you suggest him to transfer out for Enzo now? I mean, if you've got a transfer, I do prefer Enzo. I think there's a chance Esteval starts. Yeah, let me know what you think if you're a Chelsea fan. It might just be worth getting an Enzo, though, because Enzo in the long term is just a better option, isn't he? Shall I bench boost anyway? Bench of Sar, Rodon, and Chow, starting Minter and DCL ahead of them at the moment. Bench of Sar, Rodon, and Chow. I mean, if you think there's a chance Gabriel starts, then yeah, that looks like a good bench boost. Is Gabriel playing? Still don't know. I think keep him, don't buy him, don't sell him, don't bench him, start him, and just hope that he plays or misses out altogether. DA says, Eza, Kudus, Semenyo, Anthony, and Burmo, which 4 to start? Have Mateta, Watermada, and Haaland. I would bench... I think you've got to bench Anthony there, is the one that stands out. Thoughts on Gakpo Captaincy? Don't hate it. Just think Haaland's a much better asset. Would you do Anderson, Bruno, Gyökeres, Reinders, to Munoz, Saka, Krupi, and Burmo? Anderson, Bruno, Gyökeres, Reinders, to Munoz, Saka, Krupi, and Burmo. Doesn't massively upgrade your team this week, but I prefer the options you're bringing in. I don't hate it if you've got a good feeling about that, HWA Creative. Bionic Structure says, hi Ross, should I start Longstaff or Rodon? If I had Longstaff, I think I'd have him ahead of Rodon on bench. I think so, yeah. Bro, where's the camera? It's exhausted. It just needs a bit of time to charge itself back up. For the post-deadline part of the stream, I can bring it back on. But yeah, it's dead. I'm still here, though. It it had enough. Had enough of looking at my face. Where's the egg icon? Yeah, I know. I don't think it's there, is it? No, it's that. I don't think I have the egg icon at the moment, and I'd have to go and find it. And we don't have the time. We've only got 12 minutes till the deadline. Hi, Ross. I have to start 2 of Porro, Estev, and Juf. Estev and Juf, I'd go. Are you bench boosting, bro? No. No, I've got Gabriel and Anderson. Right, that's enough for me to not bench boost. Paquetá or Rodon to start. I'd back the penalty take. I mean, could Leeds keep a clean sheet? Yeah. But West Ham could equally score. And if they're going to score, it's probably going to be Paquetá. Are you rolling? I think so, yeah. Is Stack a doubt to start? I've seen 2 people say that Stack is a doubt to start, yeah. I definitely wouldn't start him if he was part of your bench boost. I mean, he'll probably feature in some regard. That might be another thing that puts you off. Like, I couldn't be further from a bench boost right now, which is good because it's taken the decision out of my hands, I guess. In club, when you can loan a player, is it a different pool of players per user, or is it the same? Everyone gets the same 6 to choose from in club. Sarah and Jaya to bench. Sar or Njaya to bench. I would start Njaya, I think. Thoughts on Caicedo? Yeah, I like Caicedo as an asset. I've seen a lot of people asking if I missed something. I think Caicedo is great. I don't know if I missed something from a presser or whatnot. Start Rodon or a Chempong. I would start probably a Chempong. Stack won't start. It will be Tanaka. Yeah, I've seen a few people say that. I definitely have to replace Stack next week then. Where is he? My camera's died. I'm just letting it charge back up a little bit. Sorry. You should still get the same content. You just don't have to look at my big ugly face. Who's the better this week? Tarkovsky or Chalobah? This week, definitely Chalobah for me. Sunderland have been really good defensively, but Sunderland have not been good from an attacking perspective. Did Gyökeres, João Pedro, Bruno Reinders to Mateta, Watermada, Saka, and Enzo? I mean, if you've already done it, then don't ask me, but I like it, Kieran. Yeah. I mean, again, do you need to make those moves this week? No. Do I prefer the 4 that you've brought in? Absolutely. If I was on a wild card, I'd have probably all 4 that you've brought in, and I probably wouldn't have any of the 4 you've taken out. So that suggests to me that you've made some upgrades. It's not the same without the egg. You just got the audio content. It's just like ASMR. Just close your eyes and relax. Just close your eyes and chill and imagine that you can see my face. Watermada or João Pedro? I mean, I'd actually rather have João Pedro this week. But I think Watermada's great. When will Geoguessr sponsor you? Maybe one day. I think for some reason I'm suddenly verified on Geoguessr. I saw this earlier and I don't know why. I don't know if that's GeoGuessr that's done that or what. Because I didn't ask for that, and I just came on today and I did a verification tick. What does that mean? Does anyone that played GeoGuessr knows what that means? I'll show you after the stream, after the deadline. Van de Ven or Estev? I'd go Estev. Rodon or Tarkovsky? I'd go Tarkovsky. Hi, Ross. Start Tarkovsky or Njai? Definitely Njai. Start the penalty taker. Always, if you've got a penalty taker, they're a fine player to start, you know? Is Gabriel totally injured? Not totally injured. Arteta said that he's going to assess him over the next 24 hours. Remember, they play on Sunday as well, so you never know. Hi, Ross. Can't decide who to bench. This is my team. Gabriel, Timber, Senesi, Mukiele, Caicedo, Kudus, Semenyo, Enzo, João, Haaland, Sarr, Gay, Bowen. In terms of your attackers, it probably is, yeah, I'd say Ismail Assar. And in terms of your defenders, it's probably Mukiele and Gay. I think you've got it spot on. I would just start Jared Bowen ahead of Mukiele. Yeah, Mukiele, Sarr, and Gay would be the players that I'd bench there. When's FPL therapy back? Miss audio only egg. By the way, I upload my videos on Spotify. I've seen loads of people say, I want to listen to your content. I upload my FPL Raptor videos on Spotify and Apple. So if you want audio content and you miss FPL therapy, I know it's not the exact same, but on a Monday, I basically do FPL therapy at home by myself and upload it on Spotify and Apple. So if you're not following me on Spotify and Apple, just type in FPL Raptor and I should come up. Chalobah or Reece James? Chalobah long-term, Reece James short-term excitement. Would you bench boost Dubravka, Estev, Reinders, Van Hecker? Thanks. It's a fine bench. I probably wouldn't, though, assuming you have Gabriel. Stream sponsored by Singular Life. Yeah, I'm normally covering up that. It's because you have to pay more money to get it removed. I'm normally right in front of it. Number one FPL overall or Manchester United win the league? I'm not answering that. Hi, Ross. James for Senesi. No, I like Senesi. Timber and Gabriel, Rodon, Van de Ven. It's a nice defense. Yeah, I would just leave it as is. I've messaged you about Saka, mate. Okay, I'll look now. One free transfer. Reinders to Enzo or Paquetá? Reinders to Enzo, definitely. Okay, I'm looking at that message now. Top left, what we saying? Yeah, I tell you what, it could be. Yeah, that could be, for sure. Yeah, I see it. I do see that, Lukey boy. I'll show you what Lukey boy's just sent me. I could see that being Saka. There. I mean, it's very, very blurry, so don't know that, but for sure. Who else could that be? What we saying, chat? Is that not Eze? Could be. Doesn't really look like his hair, though. Could be Eze, though, for sure. I don't know. Or Eze. Yeah, it could be Eze. One of the two. You think it's Eze? Maybe. Yeah, probably. Bro, that could be anyone. Could be Lewis Skelly. Could be Lewis Skelly, yeah. I guess this is the thing. We're just hypothesizing. Rodon or Senesi? Senesi. Bench Van de Ven versus Rodon. Rodon ahead of Van de Ven. Bench Van de Ven, start Rodon. I like Senesi this week. I like Senesi a lot. Are you making any transfers? I don't think so, no. Who's the best replacement for Bruno? Only Saka. Unless you're moving to Saka, I just probably wouldn't make the move this week. The tick on Geoguessr means you are the real account of GeoRaptor, the YouTuber, Ross. Yeah, but why? I didn't ask for it. So they've just... Someone's seen my video at Geoguessr, does that mean? That's pretty cool. Yeah, I didn't message anyone to get the tick. I just logged on today and I had a blue tick next to my name. It's pretty cool. Feeling very grateful for that. Thank you, whoever did that. Van de Ven or Goodmanson? Goodmanson. No, Saka's not injured. Basically, Saka wasn't pictured in training, but neither was Gabriel, neither was Rice. Unless you're saying all three are out, I think there could be some mind games going on from Arteta and Arsenal, basically. Would you start Reinders or Dewsbury Hall? I'd start Dewsbury Hall. Reinders or Xhaka? Oh, Reinders to Xhaka. No, I wouldn't do Reinders. No, I would just keep Reinders. Start one of Sarr, Munoz, Roden. I would start Ismail Assar personally if that was my team. Would you do a -4 for Richarlison to Watermada? Potentially, yeah, if you're having to start Richarlison. You have got 5 minutes left till the deadline. 5 minutes. Where are you? My camera died. So I can try and turn it back on, to be fair. I just don't think that's... It probably wouldn't have given it much charge, but we can give it a go. For the final 5 minutes. There you go. Oh, why do I feel so much bigger all of a sudden? I think it was because I was leaning forward. There we go. Start Mateta or Dewsbury Hall? Well, that's a tough one, actually. I'll go Mateta. That Man United prediction is terrible. 3-1. You think we'll win 3-1? I hope so. I think Brighton are a bit of a bogey team for us, though. Would you bench boost with Gabriel and Reinders? I don't like... You asked me to predict whether Gabriel's injured, and it's so difficult with the apologies, with the mind games from Arteta. Mateta or Sarr? Mateta, for sure. The penalty taker always. Botman or Burn for the next 3? Probably Chow, Thiaw, that guy, whose name I still don't know how to pronounce. Are you making a transfer this week? No plan to at the moment. I've only got 2 free transfers. I've got nothing in the bank. I don't see anything with 2 moves that massively helps. Why didn't you tell us you were on the FPL show? I kind of just forgot. Sorry. I've had a lot going on today. But yeah, I was on the FPL show this morning. Take off the hat. Maybe post-stream. I've barely followed you all season, but we have the same outfield team and bench. I have Donnarumma and you have Pope. There you go. Great minds think alike. Stack out. Definitely next week is going to be... That's the priority, really. Like, there are loads of things that I can do with my team, but stack out needs to be the priority transfer for me, I think. João Pedro or Watermada? This week, I'd slightly prefer João Pedro. Moving forward, probably Watermada. If you were to make me choose on a wild card, I would probably go Watermada, Mateta, Haaland. Have you bench boosted? No, I've not triple captained or bench boosted, so I know my rank isn't particularly good and I've not had a great start, but most people have used at least 1 more chip than me. A lot of people have used both triple captain and bench boost. So I feel like I'm at least 1 chip ahead of most people. I've not used any of them other than wildcard, so fingers crossed when I use my bench boost and triple captain, it goes well. Bawa says, thoughts on my team going forward? Okay. Pope, Gabriel, Timber, Achempong, Senesi, Saka, Kudus, Semenyo, Enzo, Haaland, Watermada, subs, Mateta, Sarr, Gay. Brilliant team. I assume that's a wildcard team, Bawa. The only issue I can foresee, Achempong might become an issue moving forward. I don't love Kudus as much as I do maybe Njai. I probably slightly prefer, but these are all very small, subtle things. That's a great team. I'm very jealous. I'd much rather have your team. 2 minutes until the deadline. 2 minutes is correct. 2 minutes. Krupi or Giu? I think in the long term, Krupi. In the short term, Giu might do a better job. But I just think with Delap very soon going to be back, he's just not going to get the starts. And Krupi could still continue to start even once Evan Ilson is back. No early kickoff sucks tomorrow. Yeah, that's true. I don't mind it, though. I'm actually going to see Oscar and Harry tomorrow, which is fun. Going to Oscar's house. The 3 boys, we together watching the football. And I don't own Bruno Fernandes or Enzo Fernandez. And it's Chelsea and Manchester United that are on at the same time. Kudus or Reinders? Kudus, for sure. It feels weird benching Mateta after a hat-trick. Yeah, I wouldn't bench him, but I can understand. Was you at the Sky site to film the FPL show? No, I just called in. I just called him. Kudus or Reinders? I did that one, Kudus. Caicedo or Reinders? Caicedo. Mateta or Reinders? Mateta. Start Van der Ven or Richards? Probably Van der Ven. Bench Porro or Richarlison? Probably Richarlison. Dean says, with Gabby injured or flagged, should I Van der Ven ahead of Reinders on the bench? No, I'd have Reinders ahead of Van der Ven, I think. Giu or Sarr? I'd risk a start on Giu ahead of Sarr, I think, if I owned him. That's it. That's going to be the deadline. Make sure your team's locked in. I think we're good. Think we are good. That is us done and dusted. Let me tweet my team, and then we'll get through to answering some other stuff. Right. Done. Nope. Yes. Yep, you. GW9 team, Haaland cap, 3 mil, rolling the transfer. Good luck, everyone. 4, 3. Right, cool. Let me put that on Twitter, and then I need to post it on Blue Sky. Deadline. How long I go for? I'm not sure. I'm very tired. Been a long day. Raptor, it is a very, very sad day that I've sent a message 200 times and you still did not reply. I'm really sad. I'm sorry. I've replied to that one. Not the message that you wanted me to reply to, clearly, but can we now talk about Indian curries? Yesterday, I was a little bit naughty. I ordered 2 chicken curries yesterday. I had a chicken boona, a chicken Rogan Josh, a bit of pickles vegetable biryani, a bit of pickles taka dal. I had a Peshwari naan, some poppadoms. It was pretty lit. I do love a good Indian curry. Like, don't get me talking about Indian food. I love Indian food. Oof. Yeah, guys, anyone that knows what they're doing with Geoguessr, what's this about? Why am I verified? Who did this? I'm not complaining. It's great. Makes me feel very important. Look at that. I've got this little guy. And when I clicked on it, wait, how did I click on it before? I think it said, what does the tick mean on Geoguessr? I Googled it. A check mark on Geoguessr profile means the account is verified, which is granted to authentic, notable, and active users who meet specific criteria. So yeah. But if you're not following the new channel, guys, I am going to plug it a little bit here because I would really appreciate the support. But that's the channel, and let me just copy the link. Is Stack benched? I've heard a few people say that, so maybe. That's the new channel. Please, like, there are 2,500 people here. I know not all 2,500 of you care enough to subscribe, but if like a few hundred of you can subscribe, it makes quite a big difference at this early stage. So yeah, that's my channel. Or just type in GeoRaptor. There'll be a new video tomorrow morning. But yeah, I love this. I feel so cool. Anyway. Yelena, do you know what that tick means? Not sure. I don't know if oh. Anyway. That made me laugh, Jeremy. Already subscribed. Thank you very much. Subbed. I like Geoguessr, so perfect. What's the channel about? Geography and a game called Geoguessr. I might do some general geography content soon as well, but there'll be a lot of Geoguessr content. And again, the next episode will be tomorrow morning. It's 45 minutes long, by the way, the next episode. And the one after that, because I recorded 2 episodes today, it was 1 hour and like 5 minutes. Do you want to play some 2v2? I would love to, Adam, but not tonight. I'm so tired. Again, I recorded over 2 hours of Geoguessr content before this stream. And then I did a 2+ hour live stream. I've just been talking non-stop for over 4 hours. As a geography teacher, it's nice to see you branching into the world of geography. Going to give you an A+. Thank you very much. I'm quite good at the map. I'm quite good at like literal like geographical locations, but outside of that, I'm not very good at geography. I didn't take geography at GCSE. I took history instead. Oh, 2 hours of GeoRaps are coming. What a beautiful week we've got ahead. Yeah, so the next episode will be tomorrow, which is 45 minutes. And then there'll be an episode on Tuesday morning, which will be over an hour. So the next 2 episodes will be Saturday, Tuesday. And then I might try and upload an episode on Thursday as well. I might try and upload 3 episodes next week. You should order a chicken boon, a lamb boon, a prawn boon, a mushroom rice, a bag of chips, keema naan, and 9 poppadoms and a sagaloo. If you know where that's from, drop it in the chat. Chicken boon, a lamb boon, a prawn boon, a mushroom rice, bag of chips, keema naan, 9 poppadoms, and a sagaloo. Just drop in the chat if you know where that's from. That's so poor. Going to give you a U grade now. Boo history. Yeah, to be fair. I probably should have taken geography. Would have helped me more. How about a 24-hour geo stream to get the channel up and running? I might do a live stream soon. Maybe next week I'll do a live stream for sure. Yeah, live streams are fun. But the thing is, I don't want to look at the chat because I don't want the chat to help me. So I've got to try and find a way to stream, be engaging, but not look at the chat. Maybe I look at the chat between guesses and I try to ignore the chat when I'm guessing. Because I don't want to have an unfair advantage in duels, basically. How did you get into Geoguessr? I started watching Zigzag, a guy called Zigzag Oscar. If you've not subscribed to his channel, I highly recommend it. Yeah, lots of people got it. Gavin and Stacey. Gavin and Stacey. That's when we do the 2v2 live. Fair, could do. Could do. Adam, were you here when I asked what this was? I don't remember. I didn't ask for this. I don't know if it's just... I don't know if someone from Geoguessr saw the YouTube channel or if it just... someone reached out, but yeah, love Zigzag. Zigzag's the go. Do you watch Rainbow? A little bit, but Oscar's my guy. Like, if I'm gonna watch YouTube content, it's Zigzag. Yeah. I was going to ask you how you got it. I've got no idea, Adam. I just logged on today and it was just there. I just logged on today and I just saw it. I was so confused. I was like, I don't remember asking. That's good. Josh Zerka does good. Yeah, I am. Oh, there we go. There's camera gone. I've been watching Zerka's Geoguessr content. It's very good, actually. Rainbolt is a freak of nature. The funny thing is, as well, Rainbolt isn't the best player in the world. There are many players that are better than Rainbolt. Yeah, some of these guys are scary. Lives are a great way to build channels, especially in early stages. Yeah, for sure. I might do some live streaming over on Twitch later. Do it, Adam. Do it. Who do you follow in F1? Well, like, who do I support? I don't really massively. I'm actually quite a big fan of Max Verstappen. I love Charles Leclerc. If I had to select a team, it would be Ferrari, which isn't a great time to be a Ferrari fan. Hasn't been for a while, in all fairness. Yeah. Have you done one on Football Stadium in Geoguessr? Yeah, I actually think I'll do a video on it. I did the UK Football Stadiums one was quite good. This one here. It was tough though. Like, there's not many Premier League teams, obviously, and some of the other ones, I just had no idea. Who do you think wins the F1 title? I'm going to say Lando. I know, not who everyone else thinks. I can just see it happening. Like, Max is still a little way off, and I think Lando has the momentum in comparison to Oscar. Have you done the Weatherspoons one? Nah, I've not. Give the game a go. I can do, but you can't see my face. Which one? Oh. Oh. What am I doing? Guys, sorry about this. This must look crazy to you guys. Then I need to get rid of that. There you go. Can do it like that. Do you not do the daily challenge? Nah, not really. This is UK football stadiums. Is that an Interstellar background? Yeah, I love Interstellar, man. I don't know where we are, man. Whose random ass stadium is this? Oh, I've put myself on a 30-second limit. Oh, I don't want to be on a 30-second limit. Bath. Where's Bath? Bath. I saw Bath at the last second. We're in Bath. Good thing I knew where Bath was, eh? Where the hell are we now? I don't know where these places are. This looks a bit like the one in Birmingham. I don't think it is, though. Does anyone know this stadium? It's not... Don't know. Somewhere in the Midlands? Nope. It was in London. Oh, that's my ends. Come on, Ross, answer that poor fella. What happened? What poor fella? Don't know what poor fella you're talking about, to be honest. Welcome to Platinum Honda Park. Where the hell are we? Westbury United. Does anyone support Westbury United? That sounds quite southern. Westbury. I don't know. This is so difficult, though, isn't it? I don't know if I would do this one or just like famous football locations. I'm not sure. Terrible guess again. Back over near Bath. I don't really want to... I feel like this isn't a very fun one to watch, in all fairness. Shall I just leave this? Where am I? I am... We'll just play a Community World. Whilst we wait for the lineups. If you enjoy Geoguessr, by the way, as I've said, please subscribe to my channel. If you're watching this thinking, what am I watching? I didn't know Raptor plays. We're driving on the left. Australian bollard. We're in Australia. So, mate, what we do... Sorry for all the Australians out there. We're in the southern hemisphere because the sun is in the north. We then realise we are driving on the left. And this little bastard here, this is an Australian bollard. Where in Australia? I've got no idea. It's quite green, quite lush. Perth. See, I don't think we're in Perth. On the left. Such a bad accent. On the left, mate. Rosh, we're in New Zealand. Nah, mate, we're not New Zealand. Could be... I don't think we're in Perth. I think we're in New South Wales, mate. I'm going to send it near here. Okay, we weren't. Shit. We were in New... is that technically New South Wales? It is. Very north of New South Wales. Okay. Okay, we got some yellow centre lines with some white centre lines. This is... I don't know what the New Zealand accent is. This is the New Zealand bollard. So, the New Zealand bollard is... I didn't realise New Zealand could do these. Wait, are we not in New Zealand? That looks like the New Zealand bollard, but I didn't know New Zealand did the yellow and white lines together. So, the New Zealand bollard is red on one side, and then the other side, can you see on the left-hand side here where my mouse is? It wraps all the way around, but has this white little stripe on it. Just there. Now, whether we're Southern or Northern Ireland, a little meta that is quite useful is spammed wooden fences tend to be more north. But I would say like south of north. I would go like Wellington. Would we have mountains? Maybe we go northern... Maybe we go like up here. Okay, it was quite south. Fair. Was New Zealand, though. Trust the bollard. I agree. Always trust the bollard. Okay. So we're in Canada or the US. Yellow double center lines. Makes us more likely to be... Shall I see if my camera will come back now? Boom. Then what I'll need to do is add a scene. Add camera full screen. I'm going to be massive, guys. I don't want you to freak out. Hello. So sorry for that. I really can only apologise for how terrifying that must have been. And I'll make myself a little bit smaller here whilst we wait for the teams. Sorry. Right, where was I? Okay, so we're definitely up here somewhere. I'll tell you what, those are some huge, massive mountains. So we're probably looking at these. It's Washington. Oh, okay. Okay, we're in the right area then. So we've got some huge mountains to the southwest. So could we be like here? Could we be looking at these mountains? We're on quite a big road. The road's like that. Would that make sense? Somewhere like that? Don't think so. Oh. Stack benched. Stack benched. Stack benched. Apparently Stack was benched. Let me get the lineups. I can't be bothered to try and show the lineups on the screen. Oh dear. Hopefully I don't need Stack. I'm going to have to sell Stack next week then. He's been such a bad pick. Jesus. Rodon. You didn't fall for it because you didn't wildcard that week, you numpty. B All starts. Yep. Sorry, right, where were we? Sun is in the north, so we're in the southern hemisphere. The sign is on the left, so we're driving on the left. We are either in Australia or South Africa. Or Southern Africa, let's say. Northern hemisphere. Sorry, my OBS was really out of place. Doesn't feel very Australian, does it? Does it? I'd probably go South Africa here in a duel. Potholes for 10 kilometers. We're in the southern hemisphere, so it's not India, and it's not, unless that's wrong. Sometimes it lies. It's not India, and it's not Arizona. Lineups are out. Yeah, we looked at them. Well, actually, I didn't look at them, did I? I looked at Leeds. What was the what's the West Ham lineup? In the Leeds lineup, Stack is benched. In the West Ham lineup, Paquetá starts, Bowen starts, Juve starts. I think that's pretty much it. No huge surprises with that. So it's South Africa or Australia. I felt more South Africa. I'm just going to send South Africa. We'll go with my good friend Kimberly. Yeah. Oh, Adam. Adam, did you get it wrong? Adam never gets it wrong. So does the lowness of the sun correlate with being even more south? Not really, to be fair. Not really. Unless I could be wrong. I don't think so. Again, if you're watching this right now and you're enjoying it and you're not subscribed to the Geoguessr GeoRaptor channel, I should probably just stream this on GeoRaptor, but can I be bothered to change it all around? Right. Northern Hemisphere. Yellow centre line. This is an interesting one. So, so we've got quite a lot of ocean. It's got to be quite coastal, southwest. Not too many trees. So ocean is south-southwest. We're looking at a bit of land there at the west. Could we be like here looking at this? I don't even know if we might not even be in Canada, you know. We might be over here. Or we might be in Europe. Not with the yellow centre line, though. What does that say? Cape Race? Cape Pace? St. Mary's? Are these words over here? St. Mary's? No, is that a different St. Mary's? Cape Dog? I reckon we're around here, you know. What were the other words? Trepassy. Trepassy? I don't know. Okay, we're over there. Okay. Full send Russia. That was a good guess. The joys of having more time than yours. That was not a bad score, 20,000. We take that. It's an interesting round. Don't have any bollards or anything to go off. You could see the sign, mate. What sign? I could see a sign. Was this on the previous round or this sign? This round? I don't know. Like here? Is it? It's not very mountainous, is it? Which makes me not think there. No red car. What are these houses? Tell me. I bet you're all shouting at me in the chat. I'm trying to not look at the chat so that I can... This feels a bit... Wish I had like a language or a bollard or something. I don't know. Oh, it was down there. Slovenia was my first guess. I don't know why I didn't just... Do you know what? I literally clicked. I must have been 50 kilometers from there. And then I changed. Okay, that's fine. I would have been better with my initial guess. It's still a fine guess. You never have a huge issue with those kind of ones. Battery exhausted. Fine. I'll make this the final... I'll make this the final one then. This is an interesting one. So, I mean, you'd imagine that this guy's African. So you'd imagine we're in Africa. Is that the back of the car? So we're driving on the left. So I guess South Africa or Kenya. Doesn't feel very South African to me. I'm just going to get through these quick. I'm just going to insta-send Kenya. South. That's Botswana. For goodness. It's a horrible... You know you're on the left-hand side, but you just don't know which one it's likely to be. Driving on the right. Very red soil. Oh, God. These are horrible rounds. Could this be Nigeria? My initial thought here is Nigeria. Where's the sun? Maybe not going to help us on this round. No, not with the double center yellow line, actually. This is probably more likely... So my initial thought was here. I don't know if Nigeria can have double center yellow lines. I don't think they can, which then pushes you this way. This is an island. No, it's not going to be up there, is it? No, you have to say down here then. My initial thought was it looked very African, but not with the two center yellow lines. Is that Spanish? Could this be Mexico? This could be Mexico. Not with those... These mountains are weird. I don't know where we are, guys. I'll be honest. Double center yellow lines. Sun. Not a bad guess there. It was Bolivia. I was between Bolivia, Peru, Chile, so I just sent it in there. There you go. Decent. We were only 224 kilometers away. When you zoom out, it looks fantastic. It's a Thai flag. We're in Thailand. The Department of National Parks, Wildlife and Plant... I don't know. Oh, here we go. Kon Kaen and Phet Chabun. Phet Chabun? So Kon Kaen is towards the southeast and Phet Chabun is towards the northwest. Okay, we can do that then. Wait, I've lost it. Phet Chabun was to the northwest. We're somewhere along here. Road is at that angle. Well, I don't know then. Maybe we're not. I don't know, and I don't really care too much. We're in and around. We're in and around. Why have I lost Kon Kaen now? Oh, there. So northwest, southeast. We're around here, aren't we? Do I care this much? Not really. Am I this good at lining stuff up? Not really. Oh, we were in that national park. I was looking at that national park. I was like, there you go. I just went in between Kon Kaen and Phet Chabun, but it was up there. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Is this like... Is this possibly the UK or Ireland? I mean, you have to go UK or Ireland with that orange thing. Doesn't feel like UK. So whenever I'm like this, I'm like, it's UK, but it's not UK. You send Limerick. You send one over here near Limerick. Okay, it was further south. That's fair. Okay, we didn't quite hit 20k, but we did quite well. All right then, guys, that's the end of the stream. If you did enjoy the Geoguessr content, again, there'll be a video on my channel tomorrow on Saturday morning, depending if you're watching this on a different day, depending on time zones. Tomorrow morning, yeah, 9 a.m. I think I'll upload it, so keep an eye out for that. But thank you very much for joining the stream. Good luck with FPL this week, and I will catch you